It's good, and the people that do have success against him do play positively, but we'll see how Lewis Gregory goes about it as Harmer comes in. He just comes down the pitch, good length ball, and he just pokes that down into the ground. Cover does the fielding and no run, and Gregory won't be fazed by this. He's a very relaxed cricketer. I don't think I've ever seen a more relaxed cricketer, actually, than Lewis Gregory. It's Harmer again. A bit of a Yorker there. Gregory just flicks it to Shortman wicket, who does the fielding. No runs again.
Yeah, you don't see Gregory flapped too much, do you really? He does okay. So we are going to be in a minute hearing who has won the Thatchers in the crowd. There's someone here sitting in a winning seat. We will find out who that is shortly. Hopefully get you the reaction as well as
very exciting. Is Gregory just pokes that one into the leg side. Harmer does the fielding off his own bowling. What a man! He's everywhere. He bats, bowls, fields off his own bowling. So there was again long on and deep mid wicket. Harmer was straight onto that. Conscious of having gone for 2 there in the first ball of the over. Gregory's off the mark. Going to come around the wicket, I think, to Eddie Byram, the left-hander, Simon Harmer.
The thing is, with this Thatchers thing, they've got to be careful that it's not an empty seat for the COVID reasons.
Well, I've heard as Byram, full toss really, just flicks it into the leg side. I don't get a single. Najar will do the fielding, end of the over. I've heard it comes to the commentators if it's an empty seat, Charlie. Is that true?
I hope they do choose an empty seat. No, of course they don't. There are a lot of empty. Here we go. Thatcher's golden seat. It's on the screens. Who is the lucky winner? Oh, it turns out it's a 3-year-old boy. No, it's unlikely. I think it's deliberately done for over 18s. Oh, here he is. Have we found him? We've got the cameraman picking out.
We've just got some suspense.
Oh, they got him. Look, is he? Oh, they thought it was. They're checking their seat numbers. He's got it. Look at this fella. He's so happy. He has won a lot of Thatcher's cider,
and it looks like it's his drink of choice.
And it couldn't be better for Thatcher's there. Look, the thumbs up. He's already halfway through a gold by the look of it.
Oh wow!
Look, drinks all around for these chaps, having a great time. Just been made a lot better.
And excellent work from cameraman Mark Jones there. Plays his club cricket at Taunton as well, so a local lad.
Good to hear. Wow, there he is. He's going to be very popular, having picked out the golden seat there. As the next over begins, it'll be Eddie Byram playing this nice looking shot. Forward drive, it's got past the fielder and it will go for 4. Lovely on drive from off drive, from the left-hander Eddie Byram there, and just timing that nicely off the bowling. It's really nice shot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Jimmy Neesham in for his first bowl in an Essex shirt, and it started, well, it could have been a little bit worse. I suppose he could have gone for a maximum, but yeah, Paul Walter was there sprawling across, but even he couldn't reach it.
Well, it wasn't a terrible ball. It's just a good bit of batting, I think, just finding that timing really nicely. So the New Zealand international this time, not quite so good looking from Byram this time. He's had to squirt it out to the leg side, no timing whatsoever, but manages to pick up a run. Gregory now comes on to strike. So the score 86 for 4, still good runs wise, very good for Somerset. Just got to be careful. They're on the brink of reaching those batsmen lower down the order. So these two, absolutely great, 2 great batsmen. And if they can stay there for a while, Somerset will be very pleased. They've got that platform. If they can just keep those runs ticking, Somerset will be in a very strong position.
Yeah, but Essex won't be. Simon Harmer will be quite happy with this too. He knows another wicket or 2 here, and it could be a low score, so he'll be quite happy.
So it'll be Gregory on strike this time to Neesham, nicely timed out into the point region, and they'll pick up a single as it's fielded. Coming in from the boundary by Plom. So 87 now, and the field swaps over for this left-hand right-hand split. Byram 97 on the back of his shirt.
That is year of birth, presumably.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Frustrating when you see someone with the late 90s as their year of birth. And there'll be players in the 21st century coming through thick and fast now as well. They could be 21 years old this year.
There was a 16-year-old, wasn't there, made a 50 for Sussex?
Yeah, and that is played out into the offside, fairly straight from Byram. Yeah, so this 16-year-old, I guess, was born in the same year as Somerset winning the T20 Cup.
Yes, good maths, good mental maths, but yes, maybe he didn't actually see it happen. Maybe that happened before he came into the world. But you're smiling, but you'll be a child of the 90s though, Charlie Taylor.
Yeah, so just about, clinging on.
Oh, late 80s.
Hence why I got my vaccine today. As children of the 90s have only just been allowed to start booking their vaccines. In comes Jimmy Neesham over the wicket, and Byram ducks underneath that. It looked high to me as I look out at the given as a no ball. And he's also been told it's 1 for the over, so he's going to have to bowl it again, and it won't be a short ball, we think. Or I guess it could be the second of the over, but you expect Neesham won't take that risk.
Wasn't even close,
Twice.
that was it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why the umpire had to look over to square leg. I thought he was looking for the wide call maybe, but yeah, that was Eddie Byram's quite a tall lad, and he's getting nowhere near that one.
No, that was. This isn't the most convincing over. When you bring in an overseas bowler, you expect it to be pretty perfect. This one a nicer ball from Neesham. In fact, Gregory came out of his crease a long way at the non-striker's end, and Harmer nearly, on picking up that ball, flung it at the stumps, and Gregory was scampering back, but he's safe. So a boundary to start the over there. You can see the ball counter at the bottom of the screen there. We've got a couple of singles and a no ball. So this will be the seventh ball of this over. As we've got a bit more blue sky. The lights are on here. I mean, they're not taking any effect really. And the best way is just to try and look at the shadows of the players. You can barely see any from the floodlights. As Neesham's in again. This one played out towards the field. He's dropped it. He's dropped it at mid-off. Oh, that looked like he got two hands to it as well. He sort of juggled with it, did Paul Walter. And Byram, lucky to still be there. And the bowler, Jimmy Neesham, looked to the sky as he thought he'd picked up a wicket on the back of what wasn't a particularly brilliant over.
Yeah,
in the end, not going for that many runs, but still should have been a wicket there.
Yeah, he should have done. He'd be frustrated with that, Paul Walter. He'd done the hard work, if there was any hard work, of making the ground to his right. And that was a simple one put down. I mean, I think we had the crowd cheer. That's the first time this season for a drop catch. Everyone, I mean, the crowd love a drop catch when it's the opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. So Somerset fans now not only enjoying the runs, but also a bit of juggling going on in the field. So Byram survives. He's on 19. Yeah,
and he's going to face up to Simon Harmer. He's denied Jimmy Neesham his first wicket in an Essex shirt as well. Would have been nice for him to round up that over. Not his first time in England. He had a couple of spells. As Harmer continued and pushed down the ground, and Walter there. He's everywhere, Paul Walter, today. Byram's taken a single. It was a bit of a fuller ball.
Ball follows you when you drop a catch, doesn't it? Every time.
It really does. A good signing, though, Jimmy Neesham, I think, for us. It's going to turn out to be. I think he's had spells at Kent and Derbyshire and done quite well, scored runs, taken wickets, and that is what you expect from an overseas. But such an experienced player, played a lot of international cricket. Good fun on social media.
Very fun to follow on Twitter.
Which is important as Harmer comes in. A decent length ball that Gregory just tickles away to the leg side. Man at a short fine leg comes scrambling across. They take a single.
Has a lot of people reminding him of the World Cup final, and I think he's trying to forget it. He was, I think he hit a huge six in the Super Over, didn't he? Massive six into the crowd at Lord's.
He can really hit it as Harmer continues, and Byram just tickles that into the leg side. They've been very watchful against Harmer. They'll think about two here, but it's never really on. They might have had a shout look, but yeah, they're rightly being quite watchful, just trying to nurdle him away for a few singles. It's really important not to lose another wicket quickly here for Somerset.
It's interesting debate about overseas. As you buy an all-rounder, someone like Neesham, you get bang for your buck, don't you? Because you get someone who can hold up 3 or 4 overs.
As Harmer continues, he put a short one. Gregory tried to put it away, but actually he mistimed it and it's hit him in the midriff. They got no run. Got away with one there.
But also useful with the batting as well. So really a good signing, I think, Jimmy Neesham, especially as New Zealanders are over here. We'll see a few New Zealanders playing in this competition, as we've heard Somerset bringing Devon Conway in, who had such a spectacular Test debut last week at the home of cricket.
It was quite good, wasn't it? Harmer continues then, and Gregory comes down the track. He kind of was looking to work that towards leg, on outside edge, no run to point. Just to take a chance to remind you to get your streaming style entries in, hashtag streaming style. Let's have some photos of where you're watching it. If you weren't able to make it to the ground today, we'd love to see photos of you watching the stream. Tag at Somerset, tag at Trade Nation as Harmer comes in. Gregory works out into the leg side. They'll look for 2, won't get there. Sam Cook comes round, does the fielding. You actually have to time it quite well to get the perfect weight to get to there. It's the end of the over, 94 for 4.
Halfway through the innings, 94 for 4. Generally in T20s, the rule is you double it at 12 overs, don't you? Because the run rate does tend to go up quicker in the last 8. But at the halfway point, Somerset 94 for 4. I think I'd be fairly pleased with that. Do let us know how you're watching at home. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see those pictures at Somerset CCC, hashtag We Are Somerset. At It's Trade Nation, we'd love to see how you're watching. Send us the pictures of your setup. Extra points for things like animals enjoying, if they're wearing Somerset shirts or caps or things. Several, multiple screens going on, that sort of stuff. Barbecues in the background, is a nice evening, isn't it? Warm evening. So we'll come on to the next Jimmy Neesham over. This one pulls out to the man at square leg on the boundary. And there's just a single there. 95 for 4. If Somerset, if these two can hang around, Gregory, once he feels like he's in, once he starts opening up, he's his shots for 6. He really does hit the ball. It stays hit after Lewis Gregory.
I did in all formats of the game. I mean, he hit some mammoth shots in the Middlesex game, the first game of the season at Lords, when actually they needed to come out. That's his kind of situation. Actually, I almost think batting second, Lewis Gregory prefers. He likes to know what he needs, and so he can hatch a plan.
Neesham again. Oh, Byram's got all of that. Oh my goodness, that is going the distance into the car park. Wow, that's a big 6. Sam, what are you saying? Was that out of the ground?
I don't know if I want to go so early. I mean, it's not literally out of the ground, but that is a long boundary, isn't it?
So, Sam, what you're saying is you are not going to give charity 100 extra quid for that shot.
No, what I'm saying is I was umming and ahhing. I think I am. I think that was a huge 6 from Eddie Byram, and it's a long way.
It's gone a good few rows back in the car park. Luckily, no cars parked right up there.
And
what do you say? Are you saying out of the ground?
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm calling it.
There we go.
I've gone early.
It's another 150 quid for the Children's Hospice Southwest, as chosen by Somerset bowler Jack Brooks. Good start, Eddie Byram, in this over, who waits this time. Looked like a slower ball, and he picks up a single, playing it out into the offside. So we've had 2 out of the ground so far, I think.
And 2 6s as well, and much needed boundary for Somerset actually as well. They've dried up a little bit when we had just having a look at the Manhattan graph, and you look at it, there's that one skyscraper in the third over, and actually the last couple of overs Essex has really tightened the screw.
Yeah, this has been a really good performance after a difficult first few overs, which Somerset really dominated. So let's see what the New Zealand international Jimmy Neesham can do here to Lewis Gregory, playing it onto his pads. It was a full ball, and Gregory, I think he was looking for the gap further, a bit finer than that, but picks out the man on the boundary. So just the single, and the lights just feel like they may be taking a bit of effect here. We've got some thick cloud, not dangerous rain-wise, I would say. It's quite thick though, so the sun dipping behind there. You might see on the stream, just feel like the artificial light taken over. They are great floodlights here in the couple of seasons that Somerset have been able to use, and they've really made a massive difference to what's been able to. Well, I mean, even late kickoffs. Remember, previously we weren't able to start this late for games. That one again ducked under by Byram. Looking at the square leg umpire, Byram taking a look, but given as 1 for the over. But that did look a bit high there.
He's got away with one there a little bit. I think I always love the kind of games that batters play and the bowlers play. So the wicket keeper's always, you get one of those, the keeper's always clapping it through as a good ball, and the batter's always having a look to the umpires to say, well, come on. Or they play a shot that's like up there above their head.
It's the one where you see it, it's, you know, the keeper having to reach out far right to get it, and as soon as he's picked it up, brings it straight back into the left to make it feel like he picked it up at central instead of wide. In comes Neesham again, this time full and straight and held by the bowlers. It was played straight back to him. No run there. It's a good, much better over there, apart from that first 6, which was a huge one from Eddie Byram. That's a good follow-up from the international player, their overseas player, alongside Simon Harmer. So 103 for 4, 11 overs gone now, into 3 figures, Sam, and Somerset will be fairly pleased, I think, with how things are looking, as well as Essex. You know, it's really hard to call what's going on in the last 9 overs.
Yeah, and Eddie Byram is just starting to tick, just very quietly, I mean, he's starting to tick along nicely. A huge shot with a 6, but actually he's moved on to 28, and he had such a good year a couple of years ago, so good that he was talked about for white ball tournaments around the world, and so it'd be good to see him back in a bit of form. Sure,
absolutely. Just remember, we're going to see those streaming style entries, so do get in touch. We'd love to see how you're watching.
As Cook continues into the pads of Gregory, tried to flick it away, didn't get any bat on it, but they're going to scramble through for a single. Sam Cook doing the fielding with his feet. I wonder if he was taking after Mark Wood. Did you hear Mark Wood screaming the name of Newcastle Colt heroes? Tamuri Ketspire and Faustino Espria got a shout. I don't know who Sam Cook supports. Maybe Colchester United down that way or something like that. I wonder whose name he was screaming. We'll have to ask him.
Would love that, wouldn't it, if it was they're all Colchester or Southend fans or whatever.
So Cook's going to continue. What have we got? We've got long on, deep mid wicket, long off, man out on the offside as he continues. And Byram is a short ball. He's pulled that straight up. I believe it's going to be a catch. Yeah, that's the end of Eddie Byram. Commentator's curse. Moved on to 28. Short ball. Tried to pull it away. You could see why he was looking at it. It was short, and there's a very, very short boundary on that side, but didn't get anything on it at all, really.
Yeah, aiming for, as you say, the right side of the ground. It won't take a full-blooded shot to reach the boundary there, but top edge from Byram, and that is the end of his innings. Well, Somerset now are 5 down, and they've still got the best part of 9 overs to go, and they're just going to have to be clever about how they go about this. They'll have to bring down that target in their heads slightly. If they keep aiming too high, they will just keep giving away wickets. So it's going to have to be a more cautious approach, you'd say, but still plenty of time for lots of runs, and there'll be bad balls. There always is bad balls in T20 cricket. It's Ben Green who will be the new batsman. We're about to see some of your streaming style entries. Let's see. Here we go. Look at that. Even got the quick wickets out. That's a great.
It's almost colour-coded, coordinated to the
actually.
Essex kit as well. Starting them young as well. It's
Red
right
bat, blue and yellow stumps. Great stuff. Good to get them going young.
That's excellent. Sam Cook continues then. Lewis Gregory's going to be on strike because they crossed. They're going to take a quick single. It looks like it might be the scorecard saying Martin DeLanger's out there. I don't think it is.
No,
it's definitely Ben Green.
Yeah,
so Gregory takes a single.
We've got to look at the player as he came in. Spotted his.
They've changed it.
Well.
Yeah, it's changed. I mean, Martin DeLanger is you can see Martin DeLanger coming. He is literally head and shoulders above the rest. He is a gentle giant as well.
He's tall. Not only tall, he is really well built. Martin DeLanger. I would not fancy facing Martin DeLanger coming either if I was coming in to bowl at him or facing him with the bat.
As Cook continues full ball, Green drives down the ground. They're going to scramble through for a single. Good running that.
Yeah, Green calling Gregory through. Gregory was not looking for the single there. I don't know whether Green certainly was his call facing where the ball went, and Gregory a little bit slow, but it was Green running to the danger end, so no danger really. As,
no, not at all. A bit of a surprise to see Ben Green in the side with no Tom Lammonby.
Yeah, I guess that was a decision, wasn't it, between the two, a toss-up.
As Cook continues, short one, Gregory pulls. He's going to find the fielder. He was completely in control of that shot. He was almost batting it down into the ground. But there is a man out there at deep fine leg, deep square leg, even Ryan Tender-Sharter. Oh, there you go. Even the senior players are boundary riding for Essex.
Yeah, when there's no slips in, where do you find your older players? Yeah, lovely shot for Gregory, wasn't it? Rolling the wrists over it, keeping it down, complete control. Just a shame not to have found their gap on that side.
I was for a Somerset fan, not an Essex fan, as this one is a bit shorter, and Ben Green just gets right on top of it. They scramble for a single. Sam Cook does the fielding off his own bowling. End of the over, 108 for 5 even. Another good over from Sam Cook, another wicket. They'll be very happy with that. Has he got free for now, Sam Cook?
Yeah, I think yes. Yeah. Cook picking up the wickets of Byram, Hildreth and Banton as well in that 4th over. So 3 wickets for Cook, who's been very tight with the runs as well. Really good. He's
been brilliant. 3 for 14. That'd be a career best bowling figures for him. He's not played that much T20. He's played a lot of red ball cricket. I think this is only his 13th T20 game, and it's his first free-for, so he'll be quite happy with his efforts.
Yeah, and still with an over to go, I think. So could well improve on that. Yeah. It'll be Nijar who opened up the innings for Essex earlier on. So we're 12 in now. This is the point you'd normally double it. I'm not sure you can double it with 5 wickets down. Normally, if you're only 3 down, you probably can. But so I mean, doubling it would be 2-1-6. I think Somerset would be really, really pleased with that on the board. As Ben Green just plays this one into the offside, and there is just the 1 run from it.
Yeah, I think here you try and go for what, 7 or 8 and over for the next 3 or 4 overs, and see where you are. You try and not lose another wicket. Have these 2 at the crease, set batsman, add another 40, so you're 150 with 4 overs to go. That would be quite a nice position. From where not from the start.
Yeah, it was Gregory just playing this one to the leg side. They think about a second run. They're alert to the second runs here at Somerset. They certainly are. I think you know at the end of a game, you can look back and say, well, if we'd taken that one here, if we'd pinched that one there, if it's a tight game, they can make all the difference. And Somerset are alert to them. They've had a couple of good singles as Nijar comes around the wicket, played out into the offside. That's going to be picked up straight away by the captain, Simon Harmer, and there's no run. And Somerset just struggling to find the boundaries recently. Haven't seen all that many of them. Big 6 from Byram not that long ago, but since then, Nijar in and around, and Green this is, not the new batsman, so still probably getting into the flow of things. Tucks it into the leg side for just a single off his hip.
Yeah, and they are ticking it along nicely, aren't they? There's not many dot balls here. They're just nurdling it into the gaps. Quite happy. They'll wait when the bad ball comes. I'm sure they'll put it away, but it's nice to see them building a bit of a partnership.
Nijar bowling pretty well here. As this one is a bit more width on it, and Gregory just tucking it away and picking up a single into the offside, and Somerset move on to 112 for 5. The 13th over nearly finished. 1 ball left in it, and it'll be Ben Green, who was sporting, I'm pretty sure that was last year, wasn't it? He had a moustache going on last year. The good news is he's got rid of it. I don't know whether that was, his own decision. If there was another half, he told him, I'm not kissing that thing again. Just a single from Green there.
It divided opinion, didn't it? Though Spencer Bishop does reliably inform me that the Twitter account is back live. Ben Green's moustache Twitter is out there again.
He had a cracking game last year. I think there was one game where he picked up 4 for 26. Did a really, really great game. And the thing which came out of the game was that Twitter account, the Ben Green's moustache Twitter account, which suddenly was given quite a lot of coverage here, certainly on the live stream when I was doing that. The score 1-1-3 for 5. It's Charlie Taylor here alongside Sam Dowling. Really, really pleased to be bringing you this coverage. I know not everyone is able to get into the ground. They're oversubscribed on the ballot here, which is great news to show there's all that support for Somerset wanting to get back in and watch their team.
Yeah, we're going to see the skipper, Simon Harmer, back into the attack. It starts with a dot ball. Ben Green he looked like he'd started to come down the track, but changed his mind based on length, and he's just pushed it out to Jimmy Nisha, who does the fielding. Harmer will get through his overs quickly here as well. He likes to put the pressure on. As Green goes back, tucks it away into the leg side, they'll get 1. Tender Charter, I believe it is, does the fielding, throws it in on. Slightly awkward one there for the skipper on the bounce. Not what you want as a bowler. Ben Green, he very gracefully picks it up and helps Simon Harmer out. Nice to see.
Yeah, caught it off the bounce there.
Very nonchalant as Harmer. Oh, a little sea god is in front of us. Short again. Gregory goes onto the back foot, plays it out. Almost a carbon copy, really. Tender Charter doing the fielding. Goes to Wheater this end, this time with the gloves. Harmer will be pleased with that.
Just spotted behind the clouds there. You can see where the sun is. It's still very high in the sky. We are really in midsummer here, which means the lights won't take all that much effect.
No, Harmer comes full ball, pushed down the ground. Man at mid-wicket comes tumbling away. Can't stop it, though. I think that's Sam Cook. Tried to, but actually they've taken a single down to long on. 1 more then to Ben Green.
Yeah, and again, as you said about Somerset picking up 6 or 7 maybe and over, and they're just doing that through singles and 2s at the moment.
The problem they've had is it not been the 4 balls. As Harmer, it was a bit short. Gregory rocked back and pulled it, but Ryan Tender Charter is being kept busy there at deep square leg.
Yeah, I wonder whether Lewis Gregory will just feel like maybe that was the 4 ball.
It looked like
over. It's a bit short. Didn't get all of it. There is a gap between the 2 fielders. If you can, on a shorter ball, really time it between them.
Yeah, it's just one of those. Went straight down to the fielders. Again, a short ball just nurdled into the leg side-ish line. A misfield. They're going to come back for 2. It's good running. Not even tight in the end. Yeah, just a little bit of a misfield there from Jamie Porter. Straight onto it. Came back for 2. So the end of the over, 119 for 5. And again, I think 7 off that one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it was 1-1-2, wasn't it? Or 1-1-3 was it at the start of the over maybe. But very good work from Somerset. Just keeping that scoreboard ticking. When you can't get those boundaries, I know that we're talking about there was 1 ball there which probably could have been, but otherwise Simon Harmer is just a world-class bowler, isn't he? Someone who really is at the top of his game, has been for several seasons, helping Essex win several trophies, which we won't go into detail of right now for Somerset fans' benefit. But the point is that Harmer is there and is a world-class performer and has great control over white or red ball, whatever he's playing.
They bowled superbly. Him and Sam Cook in particular. I mean, Jack Plum had that 1 over for 33, but if you take that out, actually all of them have bowled pretty well. But Harmer and Cook have been the standouts.
Which is why, from being 57 for no loss after 3 overs, which is a huge score, you look at that now, 119 off 14 overs, and actually that's par, if not slightly below par, probably for Somerset.
Yeah, you think
5 wickets.
You think hitting 180 is about par, isn't it? To a good night to make a competitive score of it.
So it'll be Porter bowling to Ben Green, and Green flicking this out onto the leg side, found the gap nicely. It's 1 bounce 4 just inside the boundary rope. Lovely shot, nice pick up, making the most of what there was runs there on that ball. It wasn't the best ball from Porter, and Ben Green making the most of it. First boundary for him.
Yeah, it was just slightly leg side, and there's that short boundary. I think it was Lewis Gregory, wasn't it, with the pickup?
Oh, was it Gregory?
Just a nonchalant finish. It makes it look so easy. No, it's all right.
Yeah, it's Gregory, and this time pushed into the leg side. This time there is just the 1 run. Yeah, 24 and 54 on their backs, and when they turn around, I can only see the 4. So both of them in short sleeve shirts as well. Not that I'm excusing it. Green's on strike now. It's 124 for 5. And Somerset will be feeling a bit better having found that boundary, just taking a bit of the pressure off.
Need an innings from the skipper here, actually. It's good to see him get that boundary, but they do really a fine cricketer that he is, but it's important that someone's going to have to go on and make a decent score, and it might well have to be him.
So now this is Green, who's playing this one into the leg side, and there is just the one run. And that scoreboard still ticking, so that's a 4 single and a single, so 6 runs, is it, off the first 3 balls. So again, that's good going from Somerset. It makes a platform, doesn't it, to one more boundary in this over, and it's a good sized over with the captain Lewis Gregory back on strike now. And there is plenty going on the live stream for you during the interval, as this one is just played off the legs there. It just avoids Wheater diving to his left, the keeper, and there's just the single. Oh, that's being signalled. It is runs, yep. So it was potentially a catching opportunity there.
Yeah, I think
off the bat.
I think he got a vital hand on that, didn't he, Wheater? He saved the boundary, certainly. I mean, he's looking, cameras on him. It was a tough catch, an opportunity, yes, but I think he did really well. Just almost tip it round the post and take the momentum off the ball and save the second boundary. The second boundary you were talking about in the over.
Yeah, so very good. I wonder whether he feels, maybe that would have been a good moment, as Green is back on strike this time and trying to angle this one. Doesn't really find the gap he was looking for. It's picked up pretty quickly and easily by the fielder, Paul Walter, at a third man area just inside the circle. And another single is run, brings Lewis Gregory on. So again, good changing over of the strike, keeping that going. In the middle of the innings, in between them, we will be playing the trade-in, trade-out game. You might have seen the Wheel of Fortune beside Sam Dalling. As in comes Porter again. This one driven, not particularly well timed by Gregory. And it's picked up at mid-off, and there's no run there. So good end of the over there after being hit for 4 off that first ball. 127 for 5. Sam, just talk us through how that's going to work in the middle of the innings.
Well, we've got, as you said, trade in, trade out. So we're all through the week, people have been sending in their details to enter the competition, and we had a few names drawn at random. We're going to ring one of them. Hopefully they'll answer. Fingers crossed. I mean, they could miss their big moment on the Somerset live stream, and by being there, they will win a Somerset shirt, T20 shirt from the off. But there's an element of risk for them. They can either stick, they can walk away with their Somerset shirt, brilliant prize, or they can have a go, spin the wheel. If it lands on a tee, they'll win £250 in addition to their Somerset shirt. But if it lands on one of the squares without a wheel, they'll lose it all.
That's Ben Green just playing it into the offside there, and the prizes are amazing, aren't they? The sorts of things you could be winning: iPad Air, some headphones, really nice quality Bose headphones. 250 quid of Thatchers cider sent to you. And this is, you will be able to win one of those and the shirt if you gamble and you get it right. So really exciting stuff coming up in the innings break. Harmer in this one, full ball, played out into the leg side by Lewis Gregory. They'll pick up just a single again. Somerset will be really hoping to see some boundaries coming, as Essex have really managed to drag themselves back into this game to the point now where we're looking at Somerset falling below par, not something we could have easily imagined at 57 for no loss off the first 3 overs. This one played again into the leg side. That's only going to be a single again.
They'll be a bit frustrated. There's a couple of balls that they've got hold of. Ben Green, that one, and Lewis Gregory, the previous over, where actually off the bat you think, that could be 4, but if it's straight down a fielder, only the single. And just going Essex's way a little bit, isn't it? Those little moments, momentum definitely with them.
We did talk about Somerset being 5 wickets down, knowing that if they'd lost a couple more quickly, having been trying to hit out too much, as Gregory goes big on this one, it's avoided the fielder who was running round, and that is 4 runs backwards on the leg side. Nice looking shot, pulled for 4, and Somerset do pick up a really useful boundary here off the bat of Lewis Gregory, who is beginning to really hit them pretty well. He's found a few fielders, that one managing to avoid the fielders. So picking up a 4, the score 1-3-4 for 5. Gregory on strike again, this one just having to be sort of defended and pushed at the same time, just a single off that one. So I don't think Gregory will mind too much having hit the previous one for a boundary.
Yeah, it's just been a bit, it's had to be watchful really, but he's now back up to a running ball, kind of strike rate hovering around 100, and we'll expect, as we said, this is the last ball of the 16th over, so we might see him have a go in the following over.
That is pushed out by Ben Green into the leg side for a run. So there we go. That's the end of the 16th over. Just 4 to go. And Somerset 136 for 5. So what are we looking at from here, Sam? Got 5 wickets in hand, which now you'd say with 4 overs to go gives you a bit of a licence. You've got players who can bat down the order waiting to come in as well. What would you say Somerset should be aiming for around here?
Yeah, they've done the difficult... Well, sorry, they haven't. They've done the easy part of it, not losing the wickets, just nurdling around. Put them in a good position. You want to be getting 10 and over from here. So what does that? 40 takes you to 176. That's just a little bit short of par. So maybe you have 1 or 2 big overs. And we're being optimistic. You've got to be. So if they could get 190, I think from here, they'd be very pleased. I mean, that's a big ask, but an Essex have been bowling superbly. So it's an extremely big ask. But I think we're going to see Jack Plom back into the attack. He was quite expensive early on, and that's the Harmer's had to go back to him. He's one of their bowling options, so Somerset will be looking probably to attack him.
Yeah, they've got 3 bowlers who have bowled the 3 overs, so I guess that's where they're going to pick up 3 of those 4. So they're going to Jack Plom. As we saw, he went for 33, so kicking off with him in these last 4.
Let's see how he gets on. Outside off stump, and Green has kind of swiped that. It got away, no run there. It's gone to Aaron Nijar at square leg. Definitely playing across the line there, Ben Green. Interesting field. We've kind of got Sam Cook at almost like a deep 4th slip. Yeah. It's almost like if we had Sherbakhtar bowling from one end, that's where the end of slips would be. It's not quite wide enough to be short third man, but obviously wary of finding the edge as Plum continues. Green moved towards the off side there very early. Bowler saw him coming. Outside off stump and push down towards mid-off for a single.
Yeah, as you know, Jack Plom, I'm sure, is bowling well, but not quite 100 miles an hour for a 4th slip on the edge of the 30-yard circle. So, yeah, definitely thinking about the edge, whether it carries or if it's there as a sort of a defence against a running down to third man area.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it. It's definitely there's a boundary saving option as opposed to the catcher. The Sherbakhtar did play. He played 1 game for Somerset way back when. Gregory on strike. It's weird. He's scooped that up. It was a full, almost a Yorker outside off stump, and Gregory was trying to play it over cover, and it's just looped up into Simon Harmer's hands, and that's the end of the skipper. Lewis Gregory, he's gone for 24 off 25 balls, and that's a big blow for Somerset, and Jack Plom has returned and got a wicket. It was almost a wide if he leaves that alone.
Should have left it. You feel there, the captain reaching out, and the only thing you can do when you're reaching out that far is you lose that control. And so he sort of scooped it. His hands were all wrong with it, and I think he knew. He didn't even try and run in case there was, a drop or anything. He knew, firstly, it was going to be caught, and secondly, that's a blow. He was looking set, and with 4 overs, 3.5 now to go, he could have been there hitting the long ball. But talking about hitting the long ball, in comes Somerset's new signing, Marchant de Lange, who we've already seen. He's hit a 50. I think it was his first innings with the bat for Somerset. Hit a 50, including plenty of big shots. This guy, if he gets going, we could be seeing some huge shots from Marchant de Lange.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't die wondering, does he, Marchant de Lange? And Gregory, you just saw that he had the when you've got one hand off the bat when you're playing the shot, you know you're not in control. It wasn't a great shot, and de Lange is going to be at the non-striker's end because Ben Green did run through, so they crossed, and again outside off stump, played straight back at the ball. A good bit of fielding, and it's a good comeback this from Plom. Gone for 33 off his first over, but actually he's come back really well. What are we, 4 balls into this over, 3 balls into this over?
Yeah, that's a really good comeback from Plom, who could easily have lost his line or his length from being completely carted around the ground by mostly Hildreth.
Well, yeah.
Over.
Yeah, and we've got the short leg side boundary, so it's probably why we've got Sam Cook in here at this kind of deep 4th slip, as I'm now going to claim it as, because he's bowling way outside off stump, full way outside off stump. Hoiked away there by Ben. It's not going to matter. It may have been outside off stump. That has got flown over in towards the river stand from Ben Green across the line. 6 runs, and that's another 50 quid for charity.
Picking it up outside off stump and depositing it over long on is just a great bit of T20 cricket. You can't imagine. Look at this. Makes the room. So that is a slog. There's a proper slog from Ben Green. Doesn't matter. It's 6 runs. Sometimes the ugly shots are the ones which get you the runs. Timing wise, that flew off the bat, didn't it? Great looking shot.
All the textbooks in the world. I think it was a slower ball as well, so he had to wait for it. Otherwise, it could have easily gone awry as Plum comes in, back outside off stump. Green back in his crease and pushes it out towards mid-off for a single. But yeah, much needed 6 in that. It's still a good over there from Jack Plum.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for the bowler there. He's bowled really well. Actually, it wasn't a terrible ball, but it was just good batting. Good T20 batting. Let's not say it's perfect, as you say, textbook stuff. But in a T20 game, you've got not much left of the game. You need to be scoring runs. Do what it takes. So let's take a look at some more of your pictures. We already saw one which got a very young fan involved. Here we go. Look at that. Thatchers and Tribute on the go. And the tablet up, watching the game as this one is Nijar just bowling that one in and slapped out to the offside, and they do just run a single. There was a bit of a thought there about whether they had time to come back, but they do not. And that is now De Lange coming up on strike for the first time. There we go. We can see the couple of pints on the go with the streaming style. So De Lange, what we're going to see here, and flicks it around the corner first off. That's not what I was expecting. Well, look at that. It's 4 runs as well. Off his pads, De Lange, who you sort of play you expect to play hit out in the V, really, in front of him. Has just flicked it around his legs for 4, Sam Dalling.
It was quite delicate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to... The result was a sweep shot, but he didn't really play it. He didn't even bother getting down, did he?
It's from his height. He's 6'5", whatever he is. He's just sort of twisted his feet around rather than getting low and stepping. And again, this one on his pads. This time he's chipped it a little bit, not aerially, into the offside. And there's a single there. Well played, De Lange, who's been a great performer for Glamorgan in this format, and so continuing that here for Somerset now.
Absolutely. What they will lose with De Lange is that ability to pick up the quick twos. I think he's not necessarily as sharp between the wickets as some of the others, but what you do get is some brute force and some deft touches, as we see.
Yeah. It's like a steam engine, I think is a good way to describe it. That one, a big slog, didn't get all of it, but it will be a single here for Ben Green, bringing back on the steam engine. Here, who, as you say, he's not going to be the quickest between the wickets, but if he can do shots like that, and also look at this stance here. I thought he was going to stay like that. He's had his front foot out to the side. Here he is again. Let's see what happens. Big pull shot. It's running away towards the boundary, but the fielder will come round to stop it. So just a single there. He timed it pretty well. It came off the bat quickly, but again with Somerset just picking out the fielders.
It stays hit, doesn't it? Good news for you. He's another man wearing I presume his year of birth, number 90 this time though. So actually.
Slightly better as far as the rest of us are concerned. As De Lange comes through for Ben Green this time coming through for a single. So the end of that over, the end of Nijar's spell, 4 overs for Nijar, who started off the innings for Essex here, and not picked up any wickets, but he's gone around 10 and over. Not ideal for Nijar. Just under that, I guess the final figures for him. I haven't got the updated ones, but
9 and over, spot on. So I think it's a difficult one, isn't it, bowling in that very first power play. He's a good bowler. He's unlucky in a sense. I mean, he's got Simon Harmer to learn from, but he's about 26, hasn't played that much cricket. They do rate him down at Essex, but of course you're going to have to do very well in the seconds to push Simon Harmer out of the first team.
Absolutely. So we're 2 overs to go. I will bring you this Jimmy Neesham over the wicket, and Ben Green fancying this one. It's a huge slog. The fielder doesn't even try. It must be going a few rows back. It is. You can just tell from the fielder whether they think they're in on it or not. And the fielder, it's who is it out there? I think
it's Michael Pepper, 19.
Pepper, yeah, who's out there, just watched it sail over his head. So huge shot to start. Ben Green here playing a really good innings. We talked about it was probably a toss-up, him or Lammonby in the side. Well, Green absolutely proving he was right to be in the side. Lammonby, who we know struggled in the red ball this season. He got a score of 70, but other than that, not much to talk about. And Green here proving his worth. Neesham in again. Green trying something a bit different this time into the offside. They're only going to pick up 2, but 2 runs is better than none, as De Lange, quick between the wickets there, manages to get himself home. So 2 runs taken.
He did scramble back. Yeah, good on Ben Green. What's he moved on to? 33 now off 25 balls. So he's done exactly the job they needed him to do. Nerdle it around for a bit, and those couple of sixes have been, well, not necessarily the first one, definitely wasn't a traditionalist cricket shot, but they've both gone to the same area, both the same result.
So he'll keep the strike. 33, as you said, as Neesham's in. And this one dug out, really. It's a good ball from Neesham, a Yorker. And this time it does find Pepper as he comes in from the boundary. And it will bring De Lange on to strike. There's just something about De Lange when he's at the crease. You can't take your eyes off him. Great big guy.
Look at him leaning back on his bat.
He's about as relaxed as you can imagine.
It looks tiny in his hand. I mean, that'll be the biggest bat you can get. And he's just tiny, but he's a real gentle giant. I saw him do an interview on Saturday, and he's just such a lovely human being. So softly spoken, the complete opposite to what you might expect a big, quick brute of a fast bowler.
Neesham Let's see what he's got in store for De Lange, who's reaching. That's got to be a wide, isn't it? I mean, it's gone for 4. Is that 5 wides? No, he did get something on it then by the look of it. He did reach out. I wondered whether it escaped underneath the bat, but he's got such a long reach here, De Lange, that he did manage to get a touch, and a great touch as well, enough to guide it past Wheater. Let's take a look at the replay here. Oh, just about, yeah, managing to get maybe a toe on it. Toe of the bat. It's a wide old ball, though.
I think so. It's one of those you should really be leaving alone. Yeah. But hey, he'll point to the result. And not many other players in the Somerset side might have got to that. I suspect his wingspan helped.
Gregory got out to one like that. As this is, it's a full toss. It's gone up, it's gone high, and it's gone into the top tier, into the boxes of the Lord Ian Botham stand. That is huge from De Lange. It looked like he barely moved to hit that.
He just stood back.
What a shot.
And smashed it. I mean, it's a short boundary there, so we got 50 quid, I think, for charity on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. It's still in the ground, technically, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's nowhere near as big as Eddie Byron's on this side.
Yeah. We'll give you that, and it is, as you say, fairly short to the straight here because of the river, which I guess stops you from expanding out that way. So a huge 6 from De Lange. He moves to 16. Nisham in again. And De Lange trying the same again. This one looks like it's got more height on it. I don't think it's going to be taken. No, it isn't. It bounces. And they'll come back for 2. Well, they think about 3. It might even have been on there, but De Lange, as we said, maybe not the quickest between the wickets. You want to keep him in if he's seeing the ball like he is. So that's the end of that Jimmy Nisham over. And the score now, with 1 to go, is 174 for 6. And you'd say here, Sam, that Somerset dragging themselves back in, and with De Lange seeing it like that, and Green, they're in a good spot to maybe push for 190.
Yeah, absolutely. He's played the perfect role so far. Exactly what he's in the side to do, De Lange. What's he got? 18 off 6 balls. I mean, that is a ridiculous strike rate of 300. And it gets a few more. So Green's on strike. He's also seeing it well. But yeah, if they can burgle 16 off this over, then we might be looking at that 190, and they'd be quite happy with that, particularly given the middle order where Essex were definitely on top. But that's just the beauty of this game, the way it swayed back and forth over such a short period. And we're going to see Jack Plom at this end.
Wow, okay, so the skipper, Simon Harmer, having faith in the young bowler, Plom, who went for 33 from his first over. Well, this is confidence in your team here, and looking what was the other option? Would have been Porter,
or Sam Cook. So it's a bit of a surprise because Cook's bowled really well, but perhaps they've obviously worked hard on Plom being the death bowler. He's the designated death bowler, so he's going to bowl at Ben Green, who hoiks towards the leg side. He got hold of that. It's going to sail over Paul Walter. That's another maximum from Ben Green. It's the big side of the boundary, and we see the field. The 4 men in the circle are all on the offside. We've got 1, 2, 3 men protecting, 4 men protecting the leg side boundary, but that didn't matter for Ben Green, who just stepped back, and that was a beautiful looking shot.
Cleared the front leg, didn't he? And what was great, actually, you see it on the replay there, is that he managed to pick out the only group of fans. There's only about 4 of them in that Ondaatje stand, and he managed to pick out the only groups. They all had to scatter like pigeons as the ball came near them. So
they definitely didn't try for the cat, did they? They were very much in my score as Plum continued short, pulled away by Green, and he's going to find Tender Charter another 5 yards to his left, and he'd got a boundary, but it's just a single, brings De Lange onto the strike.
Last over, De Lange on strike. We've had a 6 already, so 7 from the first 2 balls. It takes the score to 181. I think 190 is well on the cards here, with De Lange especially on strike.
Simon Harmer having a quick word with his young bowler here. I wonder what he's saying. I mean, what do you do? How do you plan to bowl to someone like Martin De Lange, who's just such a power hit around the ground, and as he's shown, can play like a little dabble sweep round the corner, but I suspect he too will be clearing the front leg here and looking leg side.
Well, they've got the men out on the leg side, so they've got 3 men. They're bringing in the finer backward square leg fielder into the circle. Who have they sent out? They've sent someone out on the point.
Is it Jimmy Neesham's gone out there?
Yeah, and they've got Harmer on the boundary. On long
Plum in
well,
Yorker,
and it's
big
Yorker, yeah, that's LBW. It was bang on Yorker. He's hit him on the leg, and there was no real doubt in the umpire's mind there. So a shame we won't get to see more fireworks from De Lange. It's a dot ball, importantly, for Essex, who keep the score on 181, but the 7th wicket has now fallen. As we see a replay, yeah, that's Plum. That is what you call a Plum LBW. And already, as you can see, De Lange twisted his single he was trying to run and has headed back towards the pavilion really before the finger was even properly raised. So that brings out Josh Davey, who can certainly hit the ball. Looks to me like a steam train has just pulled into the station there. Great big,
beautiful,
loads of bits of steam coming out across the top of the new car park there, unless there's some other disaster going on. I'm hoping it's a steam train.
Yes, that wouldn't be a good look for a new car park. With Jack Plum.
There we go. You can see it on screen. Just spotted all that steam coming up. But more important issues happening on the field. Somerset 181 for 7. They've got 3 balls left in this innings. Try and push towards 190. Davey on strike.
Yeah, frustratingly, they didn't cross there, of course, with the LBW. So Davey was first. Ball works out towards the leg side. A bit of a hoik straight towards Paul Walter. I like that word this innings, it seems, but just a single. But that's important, actually, because it's got Ben Green back on strike. He's on 41. 2 balls to go. Deep fine leg goes back out. It was clever the way they brought fine leg out, actually, because almost certainly, I know we saw one in the first over, but Marchant Delanger is not a man who's going to play the dabble sweep too often.
Absolutely.
So we got Plum. Shaw didn't get hold of it, tried to pull it, Ben Green. It's going to fall safe. Simon Harmer just plucks it one-handed. They scramble through for 2. Very well run. I mean, but it didn't go anywhere near where Ben Green wanted that to go. He was looking leg side. It's gone straight down the ground to mid-off. Simon Harmer doing the fielding. Yeah,
pressure on the fielder there. The bowler waiting to pick it up actually dropped the ball as it was thrown into him. Just that pressure, knowing the fielder was the batsman was running back. Just a reminder: trade in, trade out. The competition. Sam's going to be here with the Wheel of Fortune on the way in the innings break. So do stay with us throughout that. We'll of course be here watching as Somerset come out to field too.
Final ball then. Short, slower ball. I think it's gone through to the keeper. It's actually quite a good delivery. It's one of those that years ago you'd have thought, well, that's a terrible ball. But actually, the slow, short ball has worked and they scramble through for a bye. Ben Green finishes unbeaten on 43 and Somerset 184 for 7. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. 180. We'd say 180 was about par. I think Somerset are just about above there. They started so well, it felt like we might be looking at a 200 score. In the end, Essex actually brought it back superbly. Really, really well. Very, very good. From Essex, bringing it back. I think Somerset will be pleased, considering where they were when those 4 wickets fell pretty quickly. I think they'll be pleased to have seen them go from around, what were they, 70 at that point, to bring it to over 100 runs later. Essex, I think, will be pleased from where they were, 57 for no loss. We're looking at a huge deficit. Actually, this is really nicely poised, this game. This could go either way. And it's going to take some good batting and good bowling for either team to go on and win it.
It's perfect, just what we want for the first game back. With crowds in, the last thing you want is a bit of a damp squib. But actually, we've got a superb potential chase, potential defence from Somerset. So, very exciting. They're going to have to bowl well. Max Waller's going to be important, I think, up top with that new ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're excited to see the new look bowling team for Somerset, including Jack Brooks, who is making a T20 debut. When did you say? 2018? August 2018, the last time Brooks played a T20.
For Yorkshire, yeah.
For Yorkshire, right, on the season before he moved to the county.
Yeah, so Somerset, when I played Yorkshire here many times, I remember seeing Jack Brooks bowl in his Northants days. A quarter-final, I think it was, headband days, back when he was there. And Somerset must have won because they made 4 finals days in a row. But, yeah, first T20 game here for a long time for Jack Brooks.
Yeah, it's exciting to see how all that goes. Quickly run you through the cards. Banton and Hildreth, the new opening team. Hildreth played really well, made 39 from 18 balls, including 6 fours and 2 sixes. A new look Hildreth. Some shots in there we hadn't really seen all that much of in his long time playing T20s for Somerset. Banton made 18 from 8 balls, again similarly destructive, and it was Cook who got both of those players out in the same over. Van der Merwe didn't last long, a duck from 2 balls before he was bowled by Jamie Porter. Then it was Abel who came in, again didn't last all that long, just 6 balls. He made 4 runs before he was stumped by Wheater. And then it was Byram who was out. 28 he made, 24 for Lewis Gregory, and 18 for Delanger. And the unbeaten batsman, Josh Davey on 1, and Green, who played a really good innings there. 30 balls, 43 not out. Sam, over to you. You are the man with the details for the trade-in, trade-out competition. If you have entered this, then make sure you're staying tuned because there's plenty of prizes on offer. Sam, just while you're getting ready to get us going, just remind us how this all works and what you're sitting next to there.
Yes, I've got a number. I've multitasked. I've added the number into my phone. I'm going to call it, and the person who's going to, hopefully they pick up, that's the key point. Now, they win a Somerset T20 shirt from the off, but as you will all see, there's a beautiful colourful wheel of fortune. I was trying to get Somerset to sign Brad Wheel, so I would call it the Brad Wheel of Fortune, but it hasn't happened yet. But yes, if they would like to gamble, they can have the wheel spun. If it lands on a tee, they win their Somerset shirt plus £250. But here's the downside: if it lands on a segment without a tee, then they lose Somerset shirt. They go away with nothing. So it's a big risk. And I think we're going to have Charlie in to spin the wheel for us. So right, I'm going to call the number and let's see how this goes. I'm going to put it on speakerphone, close to the microphone.
Moment of truth.
The person you're calling, Dan, is on another line.
Oh, he's on the phone. He's on the right. Okay.
Sorry, Dan. Right, I'm going to go to the next number.
Oh my goodness, he's missed it. You think you'd make sure you're off the phone if you've entered the competition. Trade in, trade out. Charlie is here from It's Trade Nation, ready to spin. It was a good-looking wheel there, isn't it? I'm amazed. It's very well done. I can't imagine that was in a back room somewhere. They've had to make it. Here we go then.
Right, we're going again.
Trying number 2.
Hello?
Hi, is that Nadine?
It is?
Hi Nadine, it's Sam Dowling here. You're live on the Somerset live stream. We're halfway through the Vitality Blast game between Somerset and Essex. I believe you entered our competition, trade in, trade out.
did.
Is that right?
I did, yes.
Oh, excellent. Are you watching the game?
I'm at the match now.
Oh, you're at the match. Oh, so you're one of
I'm at the match.
the lucky few. Where are you sat? Are you going to wave to us?
I'm in the Somerset stand. Where are you?
Stand up and wave.
Oh, we're in the media centre. We're up high behind the bowler's arm.
Let's stand up.
Yeah,
go
go
on.
for it.
Oh, I can see you. There we go.
We're waving back.
Just below the Cooper Associates mortgages. Okay, you won't be able to see us. Right. Now, well, first and foremost, congratulations. You have won yourself a Somerset Vitality Blast shirt, so congrats on that.
Okay.
Right, but...
I only bought my son one 2 days ago. He's right next to you wearing it.
Oh, is he? Well, you can have matching shirts now.
She's on the screen.
Ah,
She's on the screen now. You can
there
see.
you go.
Give
You
us
can
a wave
see.
again,
You're on
Nadine.
the screen now.
Give us a wave, Nadine. Can you?
Can you give us another wave, Nadine? I think you're on the screen. I think we're just coming towards you on the right. Oh no. Okay. Are you enjoying the game, by the way? I should say. What do you think of that score from Somerset?
Yeah, it's good.
It's quite quiet. Brilliant start from Somerset though, and then Essex pulled it back a little bit, so we did well in the end there.
Pardon?
Brilliant start from Somerset, but then Essex pulled it back a little bit.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's not quite the same atmosphere, is it? But no, it's a good match.
Oh, well, excellent. Well, it could be a really good match for you because, as I said, you've won that Vitality Blast shirt. But I've got Charlie here from Trade Nation. Now we have you won't be able to see it, but I've got a wonderful multicoloured Wheel of Fortune next to me. Now, half of the segments have got T's for Trade Nation in them. So you've got a decision to make. You can walk away with your Somerset Vitality Blast shirt, and what a great prize that is, or you can gamble. So there's an element of jeopardy. If it lands on a T, you win your Somerset Vitality Blast shirt plus £250. But if you land on one of the segments that hasn't got a T in it, you walk away with nothing. So over to you. What would you like to do?
Oh, I'll go for it.
You're going to go for it?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. A good decision, I think. And your son can't have a go at you really because he's already got his Vitality Blast shirt as well. So you're safe there, right? Oh, well, Charlie's just going to step in and give it a good spin.
I could have spin the wheel at that, Tom.
Oh, I think we should do a proper spin. We just had a test run and we're going to give it a good proper spin. Charlie's going to go. Oh, it's just landed inside a T, so congratulations. You're a winner, Nadine. Congratulations. So it might be a bit quiet, but you are going to walk away with a Somerset Vitality Blast shirt plus £250 in your pocket. How does it feel?
Oh, yeah. Oh, very good. Thank you. My husband's gone to the bar.
Ah, excellent. Oh, don't tell him then. Absolutely don't tell him.
Yay.
Oh. Well, brilliant. Well, look, thank you for entering. Congratulations. What do you think? Who are you backing from here, Somerset or Essex?
Oh, Somerset.
Oh, I thought that might be your answer. Who's going to pick up the wickets?
Pardon?
Who's going to pick up the wickets for Somerset, do you
Who's
think?
going to pick up the wicket? Help, quick. Delanga.
Delanga, yeah, we'd like to see that. The big South African quick picking up some wickets. Well, all right, I will leave you in peace and enjoy your drink when it gets back from the bar and enjoy the rest of your evening, Nadine. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
Cheers, bye.
Oh, she sounded happy. 250 quid and a Somerset shirt. Wow, great effort. We just say, just so for people looking on the screen, I think if you're on the screen, you can't quite see. There's a little red ticker. It is pointing. We should say it is pointing onto the side with the T, just to be absolutely clear. So it was a great win for Nadine, 250 quid and a shirt as well. What a great effort! What a great thing to enter, and that's made her day at the cricket even better. 250 quid in her pocket.
Brilliant, and there's now 2 Vitality Blast shirts in that household as well. Brilliant.
Great stuff.
What a better way.
Really great stuff. Well, there we go. We'll be doing that again throughout the home games this season. So thanks very much, Charlie. We'll be calling on him again, I'm sure, to be spinning the wheel of fortune. Nadine there in the crowd tonight. Not only that, picking up a shirt and 250 quid in her pocket. Great stuff, Sam. There you go. Not often you can give away 250 quid, is it?
No, it's quite a good feeling, isn't it?
Walking down the street, handing out notes like that. Great stuff.
Get into a habit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about the cricket then. Nadine there is going to be wondering what she's going to spend her 250 quid on. There is a very good club shop here, Nadine, by the way. Let's hear about what Sam thinks so far. So 186 is the target for Essex Eagles. Let's run through their batting side. What do you make of the team they've got with them today?
They're light on firepower. There's some quality players in there, but they haven't got the big hitter. Nisham will probably come in down the order, so he's going to be quite important in the middle of that innings. Important they get off to a good start. I think Walter will probably open. Tom Wesley is a quality player. I remember Wheater's been around for a long time and was always thought of as this kind of destructive white ball player before he went to Hampshire and then ended up back at Essex. But actually, I was having a look at his T20 record, and it really isn't that brilliant. So they're light on. I could look a fool in an hour and a half time, but Somerset will be happy. They'll have to bat well. Tender Sharta, he needs 6-7 runs to be Essex's leading ever T20 run scorer, and he played way back when I think he did play the first iteration in 2003. So they've got the quality there. Somerset will have to bowl well, but very much even for me at this stage.
We'll just take a look at some of the highlights from the first innings there, which is some good, some bad, obviously, as it always is in this sort of format. I don't think there's the perfect T20 game exists. There's always ups and downs, but Somerset, I think, should be fairly pleased with 185 on the board from where they were. Having lost those few wickets, it can also easily, and we've seen it happen not just to Somerset, it happens to all the T20 teams. They can collapse. In fact, the last time these two played each other, Somerset won by 114 runs after Essex completely fell away. So to have solidified their innings where they were, and actually to have guided themselves to a defendable total, I think Somerset will be fairly pleased with that. So we will see what happens. The pitch is pretty much clear. They've done a bit of bowling practice in that time. Somerset, a bit of fielding practice still going on at the moment, and the players in black and pink it is this year. Tops pink, and it fades to black for their lower halves. That's the Somerset team, and we wait for the 2 opening Essex batsmen to come out from the Andy Caddick dugouts as well as the umpires make their way onto the pitch.
Well, and the weather gods are definitely smiling upon us. If you look across at the Quantox, it's very ominous over there, but actually right above the Cooper Associates County Ground here, we've just got this opening of blue sky, which obviously we planned it for the cricket. It's perfect.
Yeah, it looks great. The ground looks an absolute picture, having people back in the ground. The crowd's there enjoying it. It's nice to hear the cheers, everything going on with the crowd. It's really lovely to have it back, and you don't really notice what you've got until it's gone. You were making that point earlier, Sam, and we've been playing in front of empty stadiums for so long now. Somerset and all the teams will be pleased to have that reaction. When you hit a good shot, you want to hear a round of applause. It's part of playing cricket at a high level, isn't it? Is to hearing that. As the steam train leaves the station, I can actually see the engine itself leaving the station at Taunton.
We can all breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, thank goodness that's what it was. Don't know what service that is, but for those of you who've got, if you're on the train like that, you're probably on it for the experience. You're not there commuting, are you? You're not really watching this. Well, maybe you are. If you're watching on that train, on the steam train that's leaving Taunton Station at the moment, very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us.
Do you think it's Wi-Fi is good enough?
Yeah, on-board Wi-Fi on the whatever old it is, 80-odd-year-old train. Anyway, back to the cricket. Exciting stuff. It's Somerset against Essex Eagles. We have got a great game coming up ahead, so do stay with us. It is just quieting down as we get ready to see Max Waller bowl the first over. Okay, as Waller just sets his field, looking around. Here we go, first ball over the wicket and is played out into the leg side. That'll be a single. The opening batsman for Essex is Wheater alongside Wesley. A couple of W's to get the Essex innings going, and the score is 1 for no loss.
Yeah, I wonder if he started with the wrong one there, Maxwell. I couldn't quite see from this angle, but he bowled the leg spinner who bowls actually ostensibly wrong uns and top spinners. Very few leggies from him.
Yes, that one is played out into the offside. That could well go for 4. It will do. Rolling down towards the Colin Atkinson Pavilion. And that is the first boundary of the Essex innings. It's Wesley getting off the mark, first ball.
Yeah, fine player, and he's in a really good form as well. He's had a lean couple of years, admitted to struggling a little bit. He had that brief flirtation with the England Test side and came back to Essex, and it can be hard to come back to county cricket.
This one is again played through the very same area, and that's going to be another 4 runs. Essex starting off strongly, a bit like Somerset did. Waller being hit for 2 boundaries in his first 3 balls.
Yeah. Almost a carbon copy shot there from Wesley, who's been scoring runs for fun in the red ball game, and it looks like he's in good touch already tonight.
This one played out again, trying to find that gap through the offside, but this time not picking it well. So it's a dot ball, which Waller will be very pleased to see. Banton behind the stumps for Somerset. No Steve Davies in this side, so Banton takes on the gloves in T20s as Waller is in again over the wicket, and this one is swept nicely for 4 off the pads from Wesley, and he'll pick up a 3rd boundary in this over.
Yeah, brilliant start. If you're an Essex fan, Tom Wesley has taken 12 off 4 balls he faced, 5 balls. Waller had his head in his hands after that ball. Maybe, I think, had he missed it, it might have been an LBW shout, but as it was, got the full face of the bat on it. It's raced away for 4.
Yeah, Waller, normally so tight, actually has been fairly expensive already. 13 coming from the first 5 balls. What's he going to follow it up with? He does get through his overs quickly. Here he is again, and giving himself some space here. He won't find the gap through the 30-yard circle, and just a single for Wheater there. So for Wesley there, beg your pardon. It's 14 for no loss.
It's difficult for someone like Max Waller because he's on a white ball contract only. So with the way the season is structured this year, he spent 8 or 9 weeks kind of away from being in the dressing room. I know he will be used to that right now, but it must be quite hard to come back in when particularly if there's new guys like March and he might not know as well, and you've seen other people form a bond. So not saying it's affecting his performance, but it's just his season is only just starting now.
Headband warrior there, first time in a T20 shirt for Somerset. He's supposed to be up here with us commentating, but that did all depend on him not being picked. I guess at the start of the season maybe he wouldn't have thought that we'd see Jack Brooks in a T20 game, but here he is. Maybe he's been working on those T20 skills since coming back from injury. Certainly the shorter form would be kinder on any muscles which he hasn't quite got to full strength yet.
He's going to start with a slip in onto the back foot. Wesley goes well fielded by, looks like Rudolph van der Merwe. He loves to dive around in the field, doesn't he?
Well, he knows we've got extra cameras this year for the live stream, so yeah, that's what he's doing for sure.
So Jack Brooks starts his Somerset white ball career with a dot ball. Yeah, he really deserves to be in there. He's worked so hard over the winter, as we said earlier. Come back from injury, and he's a good bowler, fine bowler. Slightly shorter run up these days, I think. Comes in short, it's top edge, should be out. Max Waller's underneath it. Is out. I didn't want to jinx it. Max Waller doesn't drop those. I mean, no one's got more catches in T20 history. Tom Wesley, having made a wonderful start, he raced to 13, but Jack Brooks, short one, tried to pull it away, gone straight up, and Max Waller has taken the catch at mid-on.
Jack Brooks takes a wicket before he concedes a run in T20 cricket at the age of, what is he now, 37 years old. Jack Brooks taking a wicket before conceding a run. Jack Brooks, he'll be very, very pleased. I know Jack a bit. He'll be very pleased with that. I'm sure the rest of the team won't hear the end of that.
I was going to say, knowing him, he won't mention it at all. Will he?
Yeah. I mean, he still brings up his first class 100 enough times, doesn't he? So there we go. Jack Brooks with a wicket, first over. Well played for him. Someone who's worked so hard, bringing himself back from injury, and straight away with the goods for Somerset. Fans will be pleased to see that.
Yeah, as Brooks continues, and forward defensive there from Wheater. Jack Brooks on 3 dot balls so far. Wow, what a start.
Nice looking defensive shot
it was
from Wheater there. That's county championship style. Essex, who aren't quite as dominant in the championship this year as they have been recently. They played 9 of their 10 games, sitting second, not too far away from third in their group. So
wow,
perfect so far.
I wasn't going to mention it. A short ball from Brooks, pulled away. Fielder does well. Tom Abel out there, not the skipper in this format of the game, in fact, but they just take a single. Pepper on strike. Yeah, and Essex have played a game more than the other sides around them as well, so I wouldn't like to comment, but Durham and Nottinghamshire will fancy their chances of qualifying.
Absolutely they will. Durham, who there'll be quite some surprise if they make it there, having had so many difficult seasons.
Brooks again, having conceded his first run, he comes back with a dot ball. Just a really good line there into Michael Pepper. Couldn't really get it away at all. This is superb stuff from Jack Brooks.
First over, 5 balls in, 1 wicket, 1 run conceded. Jack Brooks at 37 in reinventing himself. He's got a big smile on his face. Look at that. He knows he's 1 ball away from what could be pretty much the perfect start in a T20 shirt for Somerset, making his debut. There are the fans watching on.
You've got a man in at slip and the fielder's kind of prowling in the covers there, and he's going to get it as well, pushed out towards Ruler van der Merwe. It's a really good start from Jack Brooks. I mean, we're laughing as well, but it's been a fine over. Starts 1 over bowl, 1 wicket, 1 run, 15 for 1 for Essex.
Great big high five from James Hildreth. Max Waller comes over. That will mean a lot to Jack Brooks. I'm really pleased for him. He's worked very, very hard. He's obviously impressed Jason Kerr and Andy Hurry. Got himself into a T20 squad, one which you said he wasn't anywhere near last year, really. I know there was injuries towards the end of the year, but actually he wasn't in consideration at all. Well, maybe with the injury to Ollie Sale, bringing himself back into it a little bit, Brooks there, and Somerset sticking with a slip. Hildreth just taking up slip here, as it will be, by the looks of it, Josh Davey to take his first over of the season. From the river end, as the sun just starting to peek out from behind some clouds here. To Witu, plays this one out, and he's gone. First ball. Josh Davey taking a wicket on the first ball of his season in T20 cricket. It's another one down for Essex, and 2 wickets in 2 overs here. Essex 15 for 2.
Tom Abel taking the catch. A superb fielder he is. He dropped a couple again in the Hampshire game on the last day. But yeah, made no mistake there, and Josh Davey starts with a wicket again. The perfect start.
Josh Davey, Mr. Reliable for Somerset over the last few seasons, takes wickets. Not that bad with the bat either. Useful lower order batsman, and what a start here for Somerset. 15 for 2. Remember, Somerset after the 3rd over, which was the one we're on now, were 57 without loss. Okay, that didn't continue like that, but still gives you an idea of how these two are matching up like for like. So Josh Davey will be feeling very confident, and in comes DeLanger to give him the ball. Probably say well done.
He's a fine whiteboard bowler, Josh Davey. He hasn't played as much of it for Somerset, but we forget at one point, wasn't he about the 8th leading wicket taker in a World Cup one year for Scotland?
Yeah, and he's played a lot of white ball international cricket, really. He did for a long time, was absolutely first team Scotland choice, as he's in around the wicket this time, and this one played out into the offside by Walter. And there's going to be 4 overthrows here as it goes over the boundary. Yeah, that's quieting the crowd down. Just a bit lax. I think it might be the captain, was it? Lewis Gregory flinging that one in, and Josh Davey either didn't see it. Let's have a look at the replay. I must admit, it was a shy at the stumps, actually. And
definitely silence, wasn't there?
No backing up. And I mean, it's a wild throw. He wasn't that far out of his crease anyway. Bit of a silly decision there as Davies around again. This time it's a dot ball, and that's what should have been the outcome last time. So Somerset will be annoyed with themselves. I'm pretty sure it was Lewis Gregory.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Michael Pepper did the sporting thing. He apologised. They weren't going to run for it, but there's not much he can do if it's racing away and there's no one backing up. So yeah, for a bowler that must be harrowing.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Frustrating.
Adds to your figures when the bat's been on it. So yeah, that's frustrating extras there, really, although they won't count as extras as such, but has come around the wicket this time. Just not really that well played into the leg side, just not timed, but it's safe. They'll come back for a second, as it's Waller, I think, and Abel combining for a bit of fielding out on the offside towards the Colin Atkinson pavilion, in the big gap where quite often they put temporary stands, clearly not needed at the moment with that lower capacity here at the ground. No international games, any men's international games coming here for the foreseeable future anyway. Davey in again, this time using the feet, and was there an edge? No, it's missed everything. I thought maybe there was a fine tickle towards Banton, but there was nothing there. Just a quick update. We're keeping count of the 6s, and Sam's helping us choose some which go out the ground. Every 6 raises £50 from Trade Nation to charity, Children's Hospice South West, chosen by Jack Brooks. And the 2 that we've seen go out of the ground as well have added £300, so £600 in total so far, and any more 6s from Essex could add to that total as well.
Jack Brooks will be very pleased with that.
He will be. Over the wicket, around the wicket comes Davey. It's flicked into the air this time by Walter, and it will run away to the boundary. It didn't look like it was well timed, but it did skip on once it had bounced. Maybe there's a bit of top spin on it, and it's another 4 to the total. So annoying runs for Somerset to concede, especially those overthrows. But still, Somerset, with those 2 wickets down early, will be very pleased with how things are going. Yeah, it was a really nice shot that from Paul Walter. Kind of whipped it through, like you said, almost a topspin forehand tennis shot. But it was excellent. He's a good player, Paul Walter, at top of the order. And we're going to see Jack Brooks continue, of course, after his 1 over for 1 run. Well, what this means, Sam, is that we're going to be 4 overs in, and Marchant de Lange will have 4 overs up his sleeve, which could be very useful. A bit later on as Brooks comes in. Length ball, back foot from Pepper. He's played that really nicely. There's a man at point and a man at backward point, but he's dissected them, and that's going to race away from 4. Really good shot that from Michael Pepper. First boundary Brooks has conceded. Yeah, nice looking shot, wasn't it? Just seeing that he didn't have much space, moved onto the back foot and just punched it through the offside. Really lovely shot. Wasn't a bad ball at all. He got right on top of it. Really well timed. Not a bad shot to get off the mark. But this time, Brooks has bowled short. It went up in the air. Mistimed pull, but it's fallen short of Josh Davey at mid-off. They'll scramble through for a single. So having played 1 lovely shot, Michael Pepper, he follows it up with 1 not so good, but gets away with it that time. Shows, doesn't it, T20? It's funny, you get a beautiful shot, one which will be looking very good on the replays, followed by one which will not want to look back on, I should think. Walter. Left-hander, so the field scrambles around. Slips come out, so Hill just gone to mid-wicket. Walter stands tall, pulls, but he doesn't go right through the shot. It was actually not a bad ball. Rudolf van der Merwe has done the fielding there at deep square leg. Umpires having to work hard as well, running back across to square leg field, changes up. The sun did just come out there, and it is low and bright, isn't it? You were having to shield your eyes as you were looking out over the field in that direction. It is that also, we saw the umpire standing at point, we think, because of the sun as well. It's something worth bearing in mind as it sets. Brooks turning down on 1 knee almost. Pepper looked to flick it over the keeper, but didn't get anything on it. Dot ball, I think. It's gone through to the wicket keeper. Must have gone over the stump. So he moved outside off stump, Pepper, and just tried to play that little paddle shot. Didn't get anything on it. Yeah, you can see why they're trying. There is that gap and fine leg region. If you can get it over the keeper, then it's almost certainly 4. Tempting short ball, and Pepper has got hold of that. It was a massive 6. He took a step down the wicket. Brooks dug it in, and he's taken it from outside off stump and almost whacked it well over mid-off for Josh Davey. It's another 6 and 50 quid more, of course, for Children's Hospice South West. Yeah, big shot. Not so good this over for Brooks, who's now been hit for 4 and a 6 from it. 37 for 2. We're coming to the end of the 4th over. What's Brooks got in his locker here, this last ball? See if he can get some sort of revenge. Let's go into the umpire, have a quick look. We've got the concrete down there on Harold Gimlet Hill. Umpire says absolutely fine. Carry on, Max Waller. We can see it mid-on, just shielding his eyes from that sun as well. So it's obviously causing a few issues for the players out there. Brooks, short ball again. Pepper tries to work it around. She's probably got away with 1 there, Jack Brooks. Finishes with a dot. 37 for 2 at the end of the over. 4 overs gone. Decent start by Essex, but Somerset will be buoyed by those 2 wickets. Yeah, it's a good start for both sides. I think both will take positives from there. Those 2 wickets, crucial. You'd say if they were none down by now, Essex, then Somerset would have a lot of work to do. But actually, you've taken out that power from the start of the innings, and still we are not seeing Marchant de Lange. And I'm building him up a lot because he is so quick, and actually as a death bowler that would be really useful. I mean, if you've still got 4 overs of that, as we're going to see the captain bowl now, but Lewis Gregory with that still to play with, it could be that well, it can work 2 ways, fast bowling, can't it? It can actually be peppered around the ground, but if it works well as a death bowling option, then Somerset will be absolutely delighted with how it's gone so far. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he goes with the white ball. Gregory over the wicket, and this one just nicely played out. It's quite a full delivery, and Walter pushing out into the offside where it's Josh Davey doing the fielding, and there is no run added, so 37 for 2 it remains.
And wicketkeeper Banton just sticking his hand up as if to say, it's kind of a subtle hint to the fielder, please throw it in low because I don't want it up in that sunshine.
Yeah. Quite a hard thing to remember when you've got the sun behind you, throwing it to someone who's looking into the sun. He's going to come over the wicket again and clipped out onto the leg side. They'll think about 2. No, they're just the one there. Not really on when you've got Max Waller picking up the ball.
He really is. I mean, him and Tom Abel, but Max is an outstanding fielder. And it's almost... T20 is a game now where being an outstanding fielder almost makes you an all-rounder. He doesn't bat much. I don't think he's got 100 runs in his entire Somerset T20 career. He's barely batted, really, given the number of games he's played. But actually, no one's come close to it. I think Hildreth's quite close on catches. He's had 10 run-outs. And actually, if you look all-time blast stats, Waller's in the top 10, and most of those are keepers in terms of dismissals affected in the outfield.
That one's driven. They'll come through for a quick single. If that had been a direct hit, I think it probably still would have been okay. It was a quick single. It was Hildreth with the pick-up and throw, and I think they were probably safe there, but still just shows Somerset are on the lookout for that. We've already seen 4 overthrows from that sort of thing, a pick up and throw at the stumps, which didn't work, but Somerset alive to it nonetheless. They know they haven't got all that many runs to play with, not really.
It's shaping up to be quite a close game, this.
It
Charlie
really
Taylor.
is. Gregory in, and this one using his feet, pulling it out. He'll only get, it's a good bit of fielding there. Tom Abel, body on the line, throwing himself at it, and stopping what would have been a sure 4 runs there, in fact saving 3 for the Somerset total, so 40 for 2. And actually you add up those in a game, you look at each player and you get these sorts of stats saying how many runs have they saved, how many not. For Abel, it must be pretty much him and Max Waller, probably the highest on the Somerset list, the amount of runs they save, especially out on the boundary like that.
I was going to say, if you want 2 men out defending a boundary, it'd be those 2, isn't it? It's almost impregnable.
Yeah. Gregory. And this one's gone high from Pepper. Has it got length as well? I think it has. Oh, that is huge. Oh, wow. I'm not even sure that's landed in the river. That might be on the other side of the river. That is a huge shot. Wow, what a shot. We've been treated to a couple of those now.
I mean, I don't even need to make the call on that one. That is very much out of the ground. As you say, it's almost in the retirement flats on the other side. It's a bit of danger if someone's out on the balcony there. Hopefully, all right, but a great shot from Michael Pepper. We've seen a couple of good shots from him. He's a talented player. Now getting his first team opportunity. He came really close a couple of years ago, and Adam Wheater was injured and Pepper was ready to step in, and he got appendicitis and there were complications, so actually he had to watch as Robbie White came in from Middlesex on loan, taking what would have been his spot.
What will Gregory do here then? It's a fuller ball, it's a nice ball, and just all that Pepper could do is give it straight back to Lewis Gregory, who finishes that over 46 for 2. I wonder, because it always surprises, that ball's gone out the ground. No one's there looking for it now. There's no one who's gone out. With COVID restrictions, you can't just pop out and back in again. So there's somewhere there's a ball that's landed. I wonder if it hit on the window of someone just reading the paper or something. Another streaming style. There we can see a couple of guys there having a great time. Not sure the full floppy's needed today on the sun front, but it's a good look anyway.
But a few of the players could probably do with the fully rimmed hats with the sun coming down.
Yeah, actually they could. Right, it's great to see you enjoying it from within the ground today. Hashtag streaming style at It's Trade Nation. Get involved. Get your picture up here on the live stream, and you can see the lights beginning to take a bit more of an effect. You can see each player now with 5 shadows. There's five of the lights here, isn't there?
It makes for some amazing photos, doesn't it? Sometimes when it's coming over there. So Josh Davey is going to continue. He can actually switch to this end, in fact, to Paul Walter. Full ball, outside off stump. Walter had a swipe at it. It looks like it went underneath the bat. It's a long way for Walter to get down on it. Good start there from Josh Davey from this end. Goes through to Tom Banton. It's nice to see him with the gloves again. I like his wicket-keeping gloves. It's a bit like, so many footballers these days don't wear pure plain black boots. It's the same with wicketkeepers. He's got those plain black gloves on and it looks really smart. And it's just so good to see him back in a Somerset shirt.
Yeah, and works well with the kit as well, doesn't it? So the kit, the sleeves go black, the lower half is black, so it all fits in nicely. Good look.
Davey then. Walter swipes it to the leg side. It's going to go straight to the fielder. It was almost like a golf shot there, Walter. If he really connected it would have gone a long way, but they've just got the single. Raced out there. I think it's DeLanger who did the fielding. And actually, I'm surprised how nimble and agile Martin DeLanger is in the field. For a big man, he'd be forgiven for not getting around, but actually he's an excellent fielder.
Yeah, he's already quite popular with fans, just judging on what I've seen from mostly social media, because they haven't been in most of the games this year, but as well as the seeing him in and around the game. I think he's quite a popular player.
Davey continues, gives himself some room there, Pepper, but it's out. He moved away towards the leg stump, was looking to find that short boundary, but he's got a nick. Tom Banton take an easy catch. Josh Davey has a wicket, 47 for 3. Michael Pepper's very promising innings, and that's a big wicket for Somerset. He was starting to look good, but it's come to an end.
How good is Josh Davey? Just picks up those wickets when you need, doesn't he? And he did it in the One Day Cup final. He did it all through that competition. He does it in red ball. Now he's doing it here in the T20s. He just gets wickets when it doesn't look like they're going to fall. You know,
it's remarkable. He is the epitome of actually, it doesn't always happen young, but you keep trying. Because he's been here a long time. It's only in the last 3 or 4 years that he is now one of the first names on the team sheet, certainly in first-class cricket. I worked it out the other day, and his record in the last 4 years, I think he's got something like 107 wickets at 20 compared to 25 at 35 in the previous 10 seasons. And did he get injured in that white ball final as well? Did he put a hamstring at Lords? I think he might have done.
Just about to say he's pretty much ever present, isn't he, really? Okay, that injury there, but he's the sort of player who just turns in, week out. Consistent performer. Really, really great for Somerset.
Comes in again at the new batsman, Tender Charter, who just has a look and pushes it towards Lewis Gregory, who does the fielding. Yeah, and as you said, his batting, ask him and he'll still tell you he's a top order batter. I think he's opened the batting in international cricket, came as a batter from Middlesex, and he shapes up really nicely. So he's definitely a genuine all-rounder. And, you know, consistent, but also 7 out of 10 consistent at least as well.
Yeah, the light just dipping here, well, the natural light anyway, floodlights getting ever brighter, or seeming to.
Davey into Tender Charter, who swipes that towards cover. It was in the air for a little bit. It ended up bouncing a yard or two short. I think it might be Roelof van der Merwe in there. Yeah, but Tom Banton was definitely interested. It was well struck from Tender Charter.
Yeah. Again, another player who very hard to get the ball past, no matter how quickly you send that ball. I mean, that flew off the bat. I mean, barely picked it up on the replay, just how quickly that was going. But Van der Merwe is safe. Anywhere near him, and he will get onto the ball. So useful again in cover. Great player to have there. Straight
into the hands, and they need a big innings here from Ryan Tender Charter. Essex, no longer the skipper, gave that up a couple of years ago, but he's still a brilliant performer. Bowls a little bit, not as much as before. We didn't see him today. He does bowl a bit of red ball stuff, but he's a fine batter. And he gets a short one. It's going to be dinked just over James Hildreth. He was looking for it. James Hildreth was scrambling back at mid-on. It was just a fraction short, and Tender Charter's picked up his first boundary of the innings. Had Hildreth interested for a little bit, but I don't think he was ever really in the hunt to catch it.
Yeah, can't blame James Hildreth there. He was within the 30-yard circle to start with, you know, within the rules of the power play, which is now finished. Also, that shot bringing up the 50 for Essex. So, Sam, let's compare what we were talking about with Somerset, who were well into the 60s. Also 3 wickets down, I think, after the 6th over. So both have lost the same amount of wickets. So it's quite easy to compare in that respect then, isn't it? Somerset in the 60s there. What would you say for Essex? I mean, they're up and with it, aren't they? They're certainly keeping in touch with the rate.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a decent power play, isn't it, by their standards? It's just Somerset had that exceptional third over. Just 3 wickets down. Yeah, what do they need? 100 and... Trying to do the maths myself. I probably should look 135 off 14. So just a little bit under 10s. Could go either way. This, as I said, we're expecting a close game, I think, between these two sides, and we're going to get it.
And I know I'm going to keep saying it. Marchant de Lange, still no sign of him with the ball. But it's just interesting that I spoke to Lewis Gregory yesterday, and I asked him specifically who's going to be a death bowler. No, Ollie Sale, who is it? And he said Marchant de Lange is in that slot. That's what he's there for. And we haven't seen him bowl yet, so he'll have maybe 3, maybe 4 overs coming into the death. It's Roelof van der Merwe from the River End, and this one, he always looks as if he's about to get an LBW. He puts his hands on his head. I'm not sure, actually, that was any difficulty for Tender Charter.
No.
There was that Walter there who played that one. So
he could go out of the ground, and Roelof van der Merwe being very, very close to getting
too far away. He's just one of those players, though. He's constantly on the look. It's why his fielding's so good. He's similar reason, you know. He's constantly feeling like there's a chance here, there's a chance there. And it's exactly the sort of player you need on your team. He is a fantastic performer for Somerset and has been in this format and other white ball formats as well. The 50 over for a long time. This one clipped into the leg side by Ryan Tender Charter. It's just a single added. Somerset won't mind singles really. What they don't want is for 5 singles and a boundary, so they've got to be careful that they're not giving away bad balls here. But Van der Merwe will be pretty pleased, I should think, so far. 53 for 3 into the 7th over we are now.
So yeah, a little bit behind. Somerset had got up to 68 by the end of the 6th over, so they're behind the 8 ball in some senses, but they won't be too displeased.
And they can't do anything with this one here. Walter, who used his feet, tried to come forward, and Van der Merwe hands on hips this time, giving a good stare back to the batsman. He's one of those creatures you can't take your eyes off. Hildreth goes over and has a little chat with him, two of the older players on this side. Hildreth's got good curls coming out the back of his cap now. He's been going for the longer hair thing over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, he
Not
does.
just a lockdown thing, this was 2019 as well. Around the wicket, Van der Merwe, this one just takes an edge and plays out into the offside, pretty square. And there is just a single added.
I'm a bit disappointed, that he's got a new cap on. I love watching James Hildreth in his very old caps. They're a different shade to everybody else's.
Yeah. Been out in the sun for about 10 times as long. Certainly in red ball you see that. I think probably in the T20s they give them all new kit every game or every year, don't they? So the new black caps that Somerset are wearing tonight. In comes Van der Merwe again, and this one played through. Hildreth sort of puts his arm up to say, look, you get it on the boundary. Oh, it's only just stopped there. Is it Marchant de Lange? It is on the boundary there. Good effort. Big guy stopping the ball on the boundary, stopping what would have been 4 runs. Hildreth was quite happy just to wave his arm around and direct Marchant, who's 30 years old.
Well, if my maths is correct, so that's drawn Ryan Tendershire to level with Ravi Bopara as Essex joint all-time leading run scorer in this competition. So
Wow.
he needs, I don't want to jinx him, of course, but he needs one more for the record, I believe, if my maths happens to be correct. And what's going on out here?
Now, we've had 6 balls in this over. That's what the scoreboard is saying. But now, what the scoreboard is saying here, definitely the 6th ball of that over. So we've only got 5. So the scoreboard is 1 ahead here. So they are going to bowl this 5th ball. And that one is just pushed down to the leg side. So Somerset nearly getting away with a 5 ball over, but the 6th ball just a single. And I think Somerset will be delighted with that. What was that? 6 runs from the over. Essex already were behind Somerset after the power play. They'll still be behind, I should think, by a fair old way then.
Yeah, 68. So they're still 12 shy of the power play, but again, they've got a bit of a rebuild to go.
Yeah. So I think Somerset will be the happier of the two by this point, but Essex very much still in touch here. As you say, it is warming up nicely, this game. You can afford to leave it late. We will finally see Marchant.
I'm glad he's come on, Charlie, because I feared
I
that
was desperate to see
if he hadn't been introduced this over or the next one, I think you might have been down there. You'd have got away with it. You've got your Somerset shirt on. You could have subbed in and had a word with Lewis Gregory.
Yeah. I say bring myself on. Part of me is wanting to see Marchant because I've seen him bowl for Glamorgan, but I wasn't able to get here for the Hampshire game.
Okay.
I was watching from home, but I didn't get here. So this is the first time I've seen him bowl in the flesh for Somerset. So I'm excited to see how he gets on in a T20 game for Somerset. So 57 for 3. We're 7 overs in, and Marchant de Lange, who can bowl very quickly. This is the first time you've seen him bowl. Maybe you haven't been able to watch much of the red ball stuff, and you've not been seeing him for Glamorgan. Worth keeping an eye on. This is Somerset's new signing.
And he's such a nice guy, mate. He's got a moustache. Maybe he's replaced Ben Green.
Oh no. That one just turned around the corner, just enough on it to take it for 4 runs. And as I said earlier on, if you are going to bowl out and out pace, you do have to expect a few like that. If there's width on it, which there was there, going down the leg side, could have left it, I think, probably would have been a wide. Decided to play it, quite wisely, just guiding it past Tom Banton. So 4 runs first up.
He's not the best start in the world. Sure, but he's going to bowl a lot of short stuff. That's what he's there. He's there as an enforcer.
That one is a shorter ball. That one just takes an edge, runs down to 3rd man, and pace you're seeing there. We don't have a speed gun here, but looking pretty quick.
You can see with the naked
far.
eye, can't you? It's significantly quicker than anything else in the game. I mean, it looks like his run-up is a long way back, but he's such a big man. It's honestly only about 8 strides. It's actually quite economical in terms of the amount of effort he puts into it. It's such a lovely action, and he jumps from way behind the umpire, his delivery stride.
Yeah, and you can feel as well, batsman rushed. You can see, there we go, playing it into the leg side. Feel that a batsman is making a decision, or having to be making a decision more quickly. And that, I guess, leads can lead to mistakes, can't it? A batsman under pressure to play the shot more quickly.
And there's two elements to it. He can pick up wickets himself with that extra pace, but it also, if someone who's not as quick comes on the other end, they can pick up wickets off the back of that.
Absolutely. This one, again, tempting to do a sort of similar thing there. I think turning it round the corner to what we saw on the first ball, but Jack Brooks is in there as a bit of cover around there in the backwards of square leg boundary, just coming in sort of a wide fine leg, really, I guess, there on the boundary by the Colin Atkinson Pavilion. Lights taking hold. You can see it looking a little bit darker on the stream here. So keep those coming in for Stream in Style. However you're watching, send us hashtag Stream in Style at It's Trade Nation. Let us know how you're watching. We'll draw a winner for that. As he's in again. That was a nice looking ball. He gave himself space in the end. It was a fuller ball. And Walter just sort of angling the bat, getting it down and pushing out towards point. There's just a single added.
Yeah, it was a super shot, that, actually. Unlucky just to get one. Max Waller doing the fielding. A decent enough start from March and DeLange here. Just went for that one boundary at the start of the over. Proved costly. But otherwise, he's done the job he's in there to do, just ticking along a runner ball.
Yep, 65 for 3, the score. We will be announcing the winner of the iPad. So if you've been getting involved with us with our competitions, we'll tell you if you're the lucky winner on the way very shortly. Coming up after we see Marchant de Lange bowling over the wicket to this one and not able to do much. It will be a dot ball. In fact, there's a throw at the stumps. Had that been on target from Marchant, then maybe there would have been a chance. Perhaps it would have been close. Walter was turning around quickly, but the throw as well. He's got a strong arm from de Lange. So let's find out who has won the iPad. There we go, and I think that's a great shout. Goodness knows what a toddler's going to do with an iPad. Probably Angry Birds or something similar. But there we go. Well done, guys. You are the winners of the iPad Air. Great stuff. Great to see you streaming in style at home and getting them started young. Who knows, in 15 years or more, we'll be able to see them enjoying their cricket here at Taunton. So
could be an Essex fan with those colours, Charlie. I'm not sure we deliver that far away from Somerset, do we?
Certainly not. Heading all the way to Chelmsford.
Max Waller back into attack then. He bowled the first over, went for 14. So the run rate has just snuck above 10 and over. So psychologically that's a bit of a boost as Walter comes down the wicket. And I think he's got that, yes, far enough. He squeezed it through point. Josh Davies out there on the cover boundary, but he was looking to try and cut it off. Couldn't get there. 4 runs. A good shot from Walter. Waller starts not so well. Boundary off the first ball.
Waller's been a bit off, hasn't he? The last first over had 3 fours in it. This one straight away, a boundary here. Waller, knowing his character, will be desperate to bring it back.
He comes in and Walter goes on the back foot again and just cuts that to the man doing the fielding. It's Eddie Byram at short third man. Sharp throw in. They scramble through for a single. Walter moves on to 23. He's batting nicely. Then the Sharter on strikers. Is that hill drift that runs across from mid wicket. He's going to go in at backward point. Man catching in at cover. 3 boundary rides on the leg side. Good ball that from Yorker. Turned it into a Yorker. Tender Sharter started to come down the wicket too, but it's a dot delivery there.
Yeah, well watched. Max Waller, he's good at that. Just keeping an eye on what the batsman's doing and responding before he releases.
Tender Sharter comes down the track again and just pushes it out towards March and DeLange doing the fielding, I think it is. On the offside, they take a single. Yes.
Yeah, just really nice to see him respond. And actually, that one looked like it pushed that out a bit quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a quicker delivery.
It's a real skill, isn't it? You have to you can't decide what you're going to bowl at the edge of your mark. You have to almost watch the batsman as well. As Walter goes onto the back foot, pulls that out. Didn't get hold of it. Tom Abel there with his white sleeve undergarment does the fielding, gets it into Tom Banton. This has been better. It started with a boundary, but it's been a better next 3 balls from Max Waller.
Yeah, we'll be announcing the winner of the Deliveroo vouchers very shortly, so do stay tuned for that one. Just push forwards there from Tender Scarter.
Keeping James Hildreth very busy running across. End of the over then, 73 for 3. Good comeback there from Waller. And yeah, exciting prizes for Streaming Style. And here we go, we're going to see it now.
Great stuff, really good. Use the hashtag Streaming Style. Let's go. £100 of Deliveroo vouchers. You can still win. There's still loads of prizes to go. So if you fancy joining us, you can get some Thatchers sent to you. Other great prizes as well. Hashtag Streaming Style. is the way to go. Brilliant to see you enjoying the games here, whether you're here in the flesh, lucky enough to be here, or if you're at home, hopefully enjoying the commentary and the stream being brought to you live from Somerset County Cricket Club. Really great to be here and be bringing you what is always fun. The T20 season, always a lot of fun. And it'll be Gregory, the captain, over the wicket, and just played nicely into the leg side here. They're not pushing, they're not forcing the issue here, Essex. You see the odd boundary, saw one when Waller's last over, but happy to take singles, and I think that probably just keeps them in touch with the run rate and then able to really go for it towards the end. It's quite a common way of doing it. Once you know you've got those wickets in hand towards the end of the innings, you can afford to take those risks a bit later on.
Yeah, I suspect Walter might be a bit more expansive of the two of them. Tender Sharta, I mean, he's been there, done that. Very experienced player. He'll be looking to be there at the end from now.
Here comes Gregory over the wicket, and this one, it's sliced. It's going to go for 4. That is not what he was looking to do there, Walter. But as you said, Sam, expansive shot. If you're going to go at it, go hard, is what they say. If you're going to flash hard, and that's what he did. And so even an edge there with no slip and no third man in place. Yeah, that's going for 4 there.
That's risk reward, isn't it? And he's taken the risk and got his reward.
It certainly is. Yeah. I mean, that's that's T20 cricket in a nutshell, there, isn't it? It's risk versus reward.
There's not much you can do about that as a bowler. It's not a bad ball. I mean, you can chat about him, and Lewis Gregory and Maxwell had a little chat, but it's nothing different, really.
No, don't. And that's the thing is, as a bowler, don't lose faith just because something like that's happened. You've got to stick with what you're doing, stick with your plan. As he's in again now, that's a full ball, and it's played out onto the leg side, pulled for just a single. It was full, but not too full, not too high, if you see what I mean. It was low enough, but bit lucky there, Lewis Gregory, that wasn't slammed away to the boundary for 4.
So he got away with one there. It was a full toss. It just happened to go straight to the fielder. But then the ball before, he's bowled a decent nut and it's gone for 4. So
evens itself out in the end. Tender Scarter waiting as Gregory's in. This one played nicely over the top of the fielder at a fine leg, and that one will go for 4. It was Brooks who watched it sail over his head there. Yeah, a little bit short from Gregory, and just allowing it was on the stumps, and it was allowing the line of stumps, I should say, and it was allowing the batsman Tender Scarter to just help it on its way more than anything there, wasn't it? Really, it wasn't the best ball from Lewis Gregory. It was there for the taking.
Yeah, not brilliant from the skipper.
Gregory in again. This one's fuller. That's better ball, and this time Brooks will be able to get there and keep it just to a single. Again, still on the playing on the pads of the batsman, Lewis Gregory, perhaps hoping for a shot across the line that might end up in a LBW shout. Clouds still swirling around here. We've had a lovely day. It's been warm. It's been quite muggy, but a tiny bit of rain before play. Nothing major, but we've been treated to some perfect T20 cricket weather here. Fans enjoying themselves as Gregory delivers another ball, and this one will evade the man. Again, it's fine leg that's come inside the circle. It's Josh Davey, I think, who's just watched that go past the outstretched hand, and another 4. So a few boundaries here for Essex. They're creeping back into it, doing well. 88 now for 3, Essex.
Yeah, in Somerset, they need a wicket, really. This partnership, suddenly they put on 41 in just 27 balls, and they're going to need to break it. They're starting to look set. Both these batters played some decent shots, both more than capable of winning games. And Walters is actually quite a powerful hitter, top scorer of 76. So wicket's going to be key. I mean, we're just under 10 and over again now. 98 needed off 10. Van der Merwe's going to continue from the river end. 9.8 and over needed. Just 12's the ball up. Down the wicket comes Tender Sharta, pushes it towards mid-on. Walter ran that single hard, but Tender Sharta's almost walking through. He knows it's only going to be one. All his experience, he doesn't need to. He can conserve energy. No need to use it unnecessarily. It's almost like school cricket. It's like the whole field is almost everyone's moved round one with the left-hander. So we're all 3 boundary riders move across. Tom Abel's gone to deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, useful player to have at Cow Corner. And Van der Merwe still tinkering, asking Gregory to move slightly squarer at a shorter mid-wicket there. So just Abel providing the cover slightly wider than the boundary.
Stalk ball. Walter is down on one knee here. Swept. I think that's just gone for 6. That is another maximum. £50. Walter, it was slightly short from Van der Merwe, but Walter was almost down on one knee. He's a tall man, slog, sweep, and it only just cleared the ropes, but it is a 6 nonetheless.
Dangerous partnership here for Somerset. Desperate to break this. I know how Lewis Gregory will be feeling, and all the other players there will be desperate to get rid of this now. 95 for 3. We're just over halfway through. Very similar to where Somerset were at this point, and I think Essex have one more wicket in hand than Somerset did. So very much we're in for potentially a very close finish here, depending on how these next 7 or 8 overs go for Essex.
It's getting exciting. 2 spinners just having a chat. Max Waller has come up to have a chat to Van der Merwe. Walter leaning on his back. I guess like De Lange, it's a long way down from it. It looks tiny in his hands. It's almost like he's going to fall over. Waller down there at long on. Van der Merwe just asked Tom Abel to move around slightly. Pushes Lewis Gregory back to the edge of the ring at cover as well. Walter dances down the track and he's squirted that out towards point. James Hildreth does the fielding. They scramble through a single. Good throw from Hildreth. Van der Merwe picked it up, broke the stumps, but it's only a half-hearted appeal really. I think they were quite home quite safely there.
Yep, getting home okay. It was a good throw, as you say, Hildreth on target. Just a quick note, always useful keeping an eye on DLS. Not that we think it's going to rain, but just to give an idea of where Essex should be, 3 wickets down, and the DLS score is 89. They're on 96, so it's pretty tight. Van der Merwe's in again, this time full toss. It's played out towards mid-wicket. It's dropped! Oh, that was a sitter. That was an absolute sitter. That should be taken. And it is Ben Green who's put it down. That, you won't get a better chance. I was just talking about how important it was to finish off this partnership, and there was the chance. A full bunger from Van der Merwe. Oh dear, Ben Green, we've just seen the replay. He'll be absolutely devastated. That did well with the bat, but he's let his team down a bit there with the field.
You've got to take those, and that brings the 50 partnership up, that single as well. So it's a partnership that needed to be broken, and the chance was there, and it's gone begging.
At the end of games, you look back at moments. That one could turn out to be a very big moment. If these two kick on, well, Ben Green, it looked for all the world. He had it, 2 hands to it as well. Van der Merwe's in and using his feet here, Descartes. And, again, there's a fumble in the field, and it's a poor throw. Banton having to come all the way. They thought about another one. Oh dear, Somerset's fielding just looking ragged at the moment out there. Yeah,
I mean, you saw Van der Merwe kick the turf in frustration, and very rare misfield from Max Waller. Half a chance of a run out, but yeah, Somerset, it's been a poor couple of balls that from them. You can see a bit of frustration, I think, eking out. Van der Merwe certainly felt he should have had that wicket.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You just feel that Waller, your solid fielder, took his eyes off it, then scrambling to get back, no control in the throw at all. Banton had to tear the glove off and run around to basically the middle of the wicket. Essex in the end turned down the single. I think it was on. I'm pretty sure it was on.
Sloppy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was sloppy. Yeah. Well, it will be De Lange over the wicket, and this one played neatly, actually, nicely timed. Just a little tap into the leg side by Descartes, and there is just a single there. Somerset need to just reset, need to get back into the mindset. I've got a feeling that drop will certainly play on the mind of Ben Green, but the other players need to get that out of their mind.
Yeah, that one's gone. Nothing can be done about it now, and it's about Marchant De Lange. He's an impact bowler. Can he break this partnership? Because they desperately need it.
100 is up for Essex, and that one goes straight through pretty much. I don't know what he managed to get onto it. It was bat into pad, was it? I think something. But that speed of De Lange just showing there, I think, for Walter, who did manage to squeeze a single in as well. And the ball basically stopped dead once he'd hit it. I think it must have been bat pad. Almost trapping it between the two, and then
just that bit of extra zip from De Lange, wasn't it?
It does make a difference. So it is Descartes on here, and that one's down the leg side, so that will be a wide. And De Lange knows it before he's even looked back at the umpire, and he sort of practices it coming out of his hand again as he walks back. Crowd gone quiet here. I think that tells you quite a lot. Essex wrestling with the momentum. They've got it back.
Eerie silence really around the ground.
Almost like when we were watching it last year with no crowd in. As De Lange is in. That one, oh wow, what a ball he's got him. That is a fantastic wicket, and that is what De Lange will bring this Somerset side. That is pace and bounce that has got Descartes out. What a wicket, and hopefully Ben Green can put that drop catch out of his mind now, because that is a wicket from just nowhere. That is just pace and bounce. That is beautiful fast bowling. There'll be a lot of people who love watching fast bowling, me included, who will enjoy seeing that from Marchant de Lange.
It was the perfect delivery. Nothing Ryan Tendershafter could do about it. And it's such an experienced player, big partnership. It's broken. I love cricketers and their intricacies. I don't know if you saw. He was out there, Tendershafter, and he made his mark again. He scratched it in the middle before he went off, and I just love how cricketers do that. It's just a quirk of the game. Yeah, really great. And you get to know players by their little marks like that, don't you? Well, that for me, that's what I was waiting for, and I was looking forward to seeing de Lange bowl. That is exactly the sort of stuff I wanted to see. Ferocious bowling, pace, bounce. Tendershafter, in a flash of a moment, had to make a decision, tried to defend one that whistled past his nose, and feathered it through to Banton. And that is, for me, exactly why de Lange was brought into this side, to add that. Something which you maybe saw with Jamie Overton is similar. Mm-hmm. I'd say de Lange probably offers a bit more of it, a bit more firepower, but losing Jamie Overton, replacement is de Lange, and that for me is great cricket. It's what they missed the second half of last season. Yep. That point of difference, that pace, and it was a big partnership that to break. What did they put on? 55 in the end in 6 overs. So those two, a couple more overs of them, and actually Essex are well in the driving seat. Somerset need that. Can I say de Lange has delivered? I've said it now.
It's good. There's still a lot left of de Lange. This is only his second over. This is what helps when you leave him through to the end. And this one again has gone in the air. It's going to be safe, but there's absolutely no finesse on that. Technique is all over the place because of that pace. You just cannot, in that split second, get that on. And Neesham there picking up a run, but this is a high quality international player. Mm-hmm. Bowling to Neesham. But seriously though, the two of them are great players of cricket, and it just shows that when you get these two high quality players against each other, it just makes for a great watch. Why we love the sport so much. De Lange this time to Walter, full ball. This one angled bat, just taking it out towards third man. They'll pick up a single, and still a ball left for Neesham to negotiate in this over. De Lange over that has got the crowd going on the edge of their seats, I should think, watching it. Much rather be watching it from the crowds than from Jimmy Neesham's point of view. He's just asked for a couple of bats to be brought on. Here we go, international cricketers. Yeah, he's faced that one ball which skied up has taken the edge off the bat. Maybe let's have a look. What's he going to do? I'm always intrigued by this. How do you go about deciding which? He hasn't even tried the other one. There we go.
I wonder how many they have in the bag.
Wow, yeah. See, well, he'll be here alongside his New Zealand teammates who have been playing Test cricket. They start again tomorrow at Edgbaston. Can't wait to watch that one. 17,000 fans in that will really feel loud at Edgbaston for the first time in a long time, as de Lange is here over the wicket to Neesham, who's angled the bat, and there's no run there. Good stuff from de Lange. Really enjoyed that over. 104 for 4 after 12 overs, so Essex just behind where Somerset were, and this is really nicely set up.
Yeah, it's just the over Somerset needed, particularly after that drop catch the over before. De Lange, what's he bowled? There was that one wide in it, but I think it's gone for 5. Picked up the key wicket of Ryan Tendershafter, and now got a new batter in.
There we go, a few fans enjoying Neil Diamond there. It's a long time since we had Sweet Caroline. There they are having a great time at Gimblett Hill, and enjoying. These are members, remember, who won their tickets in a ballot. Well, they didn't win the tickets, they paid for the membership, but they were lucky enough to be picked out. Well, he's having a good look through his binoculars at the camera there.
A look of bewilderment.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see this massive cameraman come in on his binoculars, and then realised that he was right in front of him. I always thought I saw Marcus Trescott in the background there.
The same thing. I think it is. I'm just having
a little keeping a low profile, isn't he? At the back, he's in a grey hoodie. See if we can get another shot of.
It flashed past him. Yeah. I'm almost. If it's not, it's a very good lookalike.
Well,
make a lot of money.
Maybe it's another Trescott who's come in, a brother or something. But I think that was Marcus Trescott. See if we can get a shot of Trez at the in Gimblett Hill there, keeping an eye on, because there's a lot of young English talent here. Marcus Trescott involved with the England setup now.
Yeah, he was here for a bit of the Hampshire game as well as Van der Merwe then from the River End. Bowls a full ball. Walter plays it back at Van der Merwe. It went through him. It looked like Van der Merwe was going to do the fielding, but actually it went so quickly it almost went through his legs, and they picked up a single. Walter takes one. Neesham then on strike. He's taking guard.
Whether these are two of the best teams in the country at T20 remains to be seen, but there's certainly a lot of young talent in these two squads for someone like Trescothick to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and both sides look like bringing through their own as well, through the academy, picking up local players young as Van der Merwe comes in. Nisham tries to go on the back foot and pull it, but I don't think it was that short. Van der Merwe's got his head in his hands.
Always.
But, I mean, I don't really need to say that. There should be a button for that, really. It's gone to Fine Leg, who's done the fielding. I think it's De Lange here in front of us. No, it's not. It's Jack Brooks. Sorry, Jack Brooks. Although, worse people to get compared to March and De Lange. But yeah, they've taken a single. Nisham's moved on to 2. Walter goes back in his crease, a full ball again, almost a Yorker, and he's got that away to mid-on. Max Waller does the fielding, picks it up cleanly this time. Strike. They're just rotating the strike nicely here. Nisham's going to have a look. That new bat, of course, the first bat lasted just 1 ball. This one's already outlasted the last one. Another full ball. Really good stuff from Van der Merwe. He's almost bowling Alfonso Thomas-esque Yorkers. He got right up outside off stump, and Nisham could only just pat it into the ground. Good stuff from...
Yeah, something we've seen for quite a few years here at Somerset, the Van der Merwe fuller ball, which doesn't really spin all that much, but just ties up a batsman.
Got good pace as Nisham goes onto the back foot and he pushes that out towards cover. Lewis Gregory, I think it is, does the fielding. Does a little tumble for the cameras, and this is really brilliant stuff for Van der Merwe now. 5 balls of this over gone, just 3 runs conceded.
Yeah, let's see if he can finish it.
Nisham waiting, goes down on one knee, sweeps it. It was almost premeditated that, but it just flicked it away, and Marchand de Lange is doing the fielding at deep square leg. Superb over from Roelof van der Merwe, just the 4 runs from it. 108 for 4, 7 overs remaining. Where's your money, Charlie Taylor? 79 needed off 43 balls.
There we go, the big man, Mr. Somerset on screen. Does he know he's being filmed? Look, he's deliberately not looking. There he is. The legend of Taunton here. It's great that he still turns up, whether he's here on work duty or not. He's watching Somerset. There he is, waving for this. He's on the big screen as well here. Big cheer around the ground and applause for someone who will always be very welcome here. So loads going on here at the county ground, including former England player, Mr. Somerset, Marcus Trescothick, keeping an eye on proceedings. I love that. The former player. Obviously, I hope he had a membership.
Of course, naturally.
Or he can just walk up. His face is on the side of this building. I think he can just point at it and say, "Look, there I am. I'm coming in."
I'm like, do you know half this ground is named?
Yeah, it literally is. Although the river stand is now just the river stand. It's Davey in, and this one slog through onto the onside. It won't be caught, but it will be stopped. And it's Van der Merwe who does the stopping. He does an underarm throw, which has launched pretty much the whole half of the field there instead of traditional overarm. But that was a powerful underarm throw.
It's gone about 70 yards there, and a lot of quick bowlers used to. I remember Nixon McLean when he was here used to just have a little flick of the wrist, but that was impressive to go all the way to the wicketkeeper.
Those flicks are quite famous of old. They used to sort of underarm flick it all the way across the field, but that was a huge thing. This time making space for himself is Walter, and that will be taken by Van der Merwe. Listen to that cheer. Oh, that's good to hear. Crowd's loving it now. Another one gone, and Walter has to depart. Great innings. Didn't get to 50 though. You feel that Somerset just taking it now. Let's watch the replay. A nice catch on his knees, takes it as well. It looks like he almost got a bit surprised by how close it came to him there, Van der Merwe. But key wicket for Somerset, and that drop now by Ben Green looking less important than maybe it could have been had those two, and in particular Walter, hung around.
Yeah. Ben Green will be a relief man, and Van der Merwe, he's kicking the ground in frustration. How quickly it turns now, showing off with underarm flicks and taking the catch. It's been a wonderful last two and a bit overs. Very few runs come off it. A couple of wickets. Game shifts so quickly, and Somerset will consider themselves strong favourites now.
Well, I've talked about looking back on a match because it's easy when you're in a T20. It just flies by, doesn't it? I imagine playing it even more so. And then you look back and you think, well, maybe we could have been tighter here. Maybe we could have, this period of the last 2.5, 3 overs since about the 10th over has been really strong, and this could be the moment. Actually, it will come at the end when the game finishes, but if Somerset do end up winning, they'll look at this period, those 2 key wickets, Walter and Tenduscarter, as being that moment perhaps where the game turned. Is Davies in, and this is a big shot out on the offside, and it will go for 6. Jimmy Neesham, the international player overseas for Essex, showing why he's worth the money. What a shot that was. Out on the offside, just driving through the line and over long off for 6.
Yeah, serious strike that, and that's why he's the overseas and an international cricketer. Nothing, Essex behind the rate, but nothing phases him. He'll just do his thing and backs his own ability, and that was a super strike. Nothing really Josh Davey can do about that.
Well, let's see what the response is. Around the wicket still to the left-hander, and he's found a gap in between two boundary fielders there. Waller and Green coming together, but not able to cut off. So 2 boundaries in a row after the wicket. Sometimes you see the run rate stop or stall after a wicket. Here we've seen 4 after a 6. So we're giving away in a moment some Bose headphones. Now, I work in audio. I know Bose is a top brand. That is the brand you want. We're giving away a pair of their headphones on the way here with the streaming style competition as Davies over the wicket hits the pads, I think missing off, hence there was no leg, wasn't it, with the left hander then, so there was no real shout, but still great ball and no run. Just be keen to see a replay of that. Was it Batty slammed down on it, or did it hit the pads? There's certainly no appeal for anything, so
good comeback there from Josh Davey,
yeah.
Using experience, having gone for 10 off 2 balls, and some brilliant prizes. I don't know, are we eligible to enter from here? We're technically streaming it. We've got a stream on.
Just take a picture of our own stream, which is us two doing the stream.
We're definitely doing it in style, though, I think.
Yeah, exactly. We're here. I think it's gone down as a run there, so he did get his bat on it. I did wonder why there was no appeal, whether it was missing leg, but it must have in the end just been bat that came down on it. Davey then over the wicket to the captain, Simon Harmer, slower ball. And he waited for it nicely. Didn't quite time it perfectly, but it's enough for a single, which I guess is what Harmer will be happy with. He'll keep the strike, actually, keeping the overseas batsman off strike. Oh, look at that. What a great shot there. That looks like mid-game he's been hit. He's going to have to get the concussion tests going on for that one if he's been hit whilst bowling. But great shot. Love that. Wearing the special NHS shirt as well that Somerset created last year. I've got my one proudly at home as well. Great stuff. Some headphones on their way to you.
He looks like Martin DeLange was around a bit earlier on. Yeah. Right, so they have Waller then. He's going to bowl the 3rd over, I believe, of his, not spell of the day. He's bowled 3 different 1-over spells. This will be his 3rd. Gone for 22 off 2 overs. Now, with Harmer out there, he's a very good batter, but maybe they haven't, a bit like when Somerset had DeLange out earlier, there won't necessarily be, might be famous last words, but there won't be those kind of scuttled 2s. Waller comes in, Harmer just flicks him out towards, I think, Jack Brooks, is it? Racing around there? A deep mid-wicket, Ben Green, apologies. I can't get Jack Brooks right today. Seemingly it's because he should be up here. But yeah, just a single there from Harmer.
So, is that Brooks or DeLange down there? It's Brooks.
It is Brooks. So the field all moves round again. Neesham, the left-hander. First ball faced off Max Waller. As a look round, Brooks swinging his arms in front of us at short, fine leg. Full outside off stump and punched away through the covers. He ran because he kind of felt he had to, but he knew as soon as that came off the bat, there was 4 runs. It absolutely raced away. Even on the longer boundary, that would have been 4.
Yeah, lovely looking shot that. As we'll see the replay as Waller, who has been hit for a few boundaries. Yeah, no, full toss from Waller, that one.
What's he got to come back again? Neesham on one knee, slaps him down the ground. There's a man at long on, but he's not going to get there. He's a bit wider at long on, but it's gone really straight there from Neesham. Back-to-back boundaries, and he's starting to get his eye in. This is dangerous for Somerset.
Yeah, Waller been expensive in his overs. You said 22 from his first 2. He's already gone for 9 from this over so far. As Waller's in again,
comes in, and Neesham has struck that, and Rudolph van der Merwe looked like he was interested, but it's flown over his head at long on. That's another 6 of 50 quid for Children's Hospital South West. But Max Waller will not be a particularly happy bunny about that one. Jimmy Neesham is really getting going.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about his performance in the Super Over at the World Cup final, which he gets told about a lot on Twitter.
Comes around the wicket. Neesham pulls up the reverse sweep, misses it. Neesham thought it just needed a little tickle for a boundary. Good change of angle from there. Max Waller looked like he fired that one in a bit more quickly, having gone for 3 boundaries off the over already. He's going to come back over the wicket as Neesham just does a bit of gardening, moves something off the pitch, but he's had a very good over for him so far. Again, goes on the back foot, pulls that into the gap between deep mid-wicket, and Tom Abel scrambles around. Martin DeLange hasn't even moved. That's another boundary. 4 more for Jimmy Neesham. What we got? 19 off the over there. Expensive one there from Max Waller. He's now gone for 41 off his 3.
Yeah, Waller will be absolutely devastated with how this has turned out so far. Neesham getting Essex pretty close now. 46 needed from the final 5 overs, so 9, just over 9 and over. Well, that's game on. Absolutely game on. 5 wickets down, but with these two there, especially Neesham, I mean, this is well within reach for Essex. Somerset need that wicket.
Yeah, Lewis Gregory's got a bit of thinking to do here. What's going to do? I can't imagine Waller coming back again. I think
that's probably going to be it. The experiment hasn't really worked tonight, and Waller will have his nights this season, sure, but tonight has not been one of those for Max Waller. I'd be surprised if we saw him again. I guess there's a chance they might be called on, but it will be the pace of De Lange from the pavilion end.
So he's got 2 left, and we've got 3 left from this end. So someone, assuming De Lange might come off for 1 over, but I'd imagine a quick bowler like him, you wouldn't want to take him off for 1 over and bring him back in. You bowl him through. So someone's going to have to bowl an over from this end. Josh Davies still got 1 up his sleeve. Jack Brooks, who bowled brilliant, he's got a couple. Lewis Gregory's got 2. It's going to be interesting to see where they go.
Well, it's Harmer on strike. You'd say the less of the 2 batsmen here. They will come through for a single. So Neesham, who's the danger man at the moment, he's on 33 from 15 balls. So really dangerous player. There's the reason he's at the top of his game at international level. Fantastic all-rounder for New Zealand.
Yeah. And that's all Harmer's got to do now. That's his job. Is just to give Neesham the strike, just a bit nurdle those singles and let Neesham do his business at the other end, and he's doing it very well right now.
Well, the reason De Lange's been brought on now, I suspect, is to get the wicket of Neesham, and that's a full ball, and it'll just be a single here. There could be a shot at the stumps. There isn't. Oh, they'll think of a single. Oh, there's a bit of a fumble from the captain, but he recovers and he keeps Harmer on strike, importantly. So just a single there. Lewis Gregory nearly letting them through for 2, but just about saving it.
Yeah, he's got away with 1 there, I think. Again, it's looking at if it's not Harmer running, if it's not Harmer and Neesham, then maybe there's 2 there. So actually, Somerset will be pleased with that.
De Lange this time to Harmer, who we've said might well look for a single. This one, this one could go for 4. It's going down towards the boundary. They'll run and run to try and cut it off, but Josh Davies not getting there. 4 to Simon Harmer. So it's coming from both ends now. He'll keep the strike clearly with the 4. So, this is great stuff for Essex now. Batting down the order. Simon Harmer doing good work for Essex Eagles. 146 for 5. They need 40 more to win. They've got 27 balls, is it?
Indeed,
to
27 balls.
3 of them, at least, from March on. De Lange. Here's the first of those 3 that's gone down the leg side. He's going to have to bowl that one again.
Tried to bowl the Yorker there, but just got it slightly wrong. And
it's the risk, isn't it?
Yeah, you could see as soon as it misses everything, he knew what was coming there.
Yeah.
Umpire has to give it, and it's rightly so. They're consistent. You know, as a bowler, as you said a bit earlier on, if you miss your mark slightly down that leg side, it's an extra ball and an extra run.
That's how the game is. It's tough whether it's right or wrong for bowlers. It's up for debate, I guess, but those are the rules. And Harmer happy just to angle the bat really nicely. This is going to run away to the 3rd man boundary for 4, unless it's been dragged in. No, Hildreth did his best, but lovely shot for 4 there. Who needs Jimmy Neesham? Simon Harmer finding all corners of the pitch here.
I mean, that's one of the nicest cricket shots we've played in the day, in terms of seen played in the day. There was 2 fielders there, and he's just dissected them perfectly.
Yeah, really nice looking shot. Just using the pace that De Lange offers as well, and the ball on that fairly short boundary over on the Somerset stand side, racing away. So what's De Lange got to try and end this? It's going to be another wide. De Lange. Well, he's been expensive in this over, so we've got 2 singles, then a 4, then a wide, then a 4, then a wide.
So 2 extra balls already as well we're going to have.
It's an 8 ball over at least. De Lange will be...
we're looking at 35 needed off 26, so Essex, a couple more boundaries, it's very much in their favour.
That one is a good ball. This time just played away. It's going to be a single. Somerset might not mind that. It means that Neesham is down at the wrong end with just 1 ball. Well, he got the right end for this over, but the wrong end for the next one. So if a dot ball here from De Lange would be very useful.
It's going to leave Lewis Gregory scratching his head this one, because that probably means you wouldn't imagine De Lange will bowl another one. So he's got whether that was the plan always.
Let's see how De Lange gets on. There's going to be a bit of advice here coming from both captain and Josh Davey, who are at mid-off and mid-on, as De Lange comes in for what should be the last ball of this over to the left-handed Neesham, who pulls. It's only going to be a single, keeps him on strike, and in the end, De Lange probably happy just to see it roll away for a single. So 32 to win, 4 overs to do it. Nice bit of maths there. If you fancy that, that's 8 and over. £150 in the club shop. Great prize. Some fantastic stuff they sell there. Well done. I said there are extra points for pets involved. Well, you've just got yourself 150 quid. That's going to buy you some great stuff. Well done to whoever that is, streaming in style. Courtesy of Trade Nation, of course. Great stuff.
So Van der Merwe's going to come on again. We're going to continue to see spin at the river end. He's got one, just this will be his last over, Roelof van der Merwe. Actually, he's bowled very well so far. Just a 21 he's gone for. What's he got against Neesham? And again, international cricketer takes on international cricketer. As Neesham just drives down the ground. Again, Van der Merwe, full ball. Waller's going to do the fielding. They're going to look for two. Oh, a rare misfield from Max Waller. And they've scrambled through for a couple. Somerset certainly don't need that at this stage. That will definitely get Roelof van der Merwe's nostrils flaring once more.
Issue there is that's the second misfield we've seen from Max Waller, someone who would rarely in a whole season make two misfields. He's had two in one game there, and he's not bowling that well either. He's not had a night to remember.
Hasn't. Van der Merwe comes in full ball again. Neesham pulls that out towards Tom Abel, who does the fielding at deep mid-wicket. Yeah, I wonder if there's anything... He won't have played that much cricket in 8 or 9 weeks. I know he's playing club cricket down in St Just and doing really well down there, but it's only in the last week or two that the twos have started to play 2020 cricket, and actually there's something to be said about rhythm and bowling overs, and he just maybe hasn't done that often enough so far this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great point. I'm sure we will see Max Waller at his best this season, but tonight certainly not going to be that night.
And we will. As Harmer has a look around and plays the ball down the ground. Again, full from Roelof van der Merwe. Just take the single to mid-on. Happy to rotate the strike now. And I mean, Essex definitely favourites from this one. They don't need to take any risks from here. That's the problem Somerset have got. Actually, 3.5 overs left. 28 needed. You're going to get a bad ball or two. You only need a couple of boundaries and to go for a runner ball for the rest of them, and you're home. As Neesham goes onto the back foot, and he's pulled that way in front of square. It's in fact gone past mid-on, dissected Tom Abel and Max Waller perfectly, straight into the Tina Turner tickets on sale sign. 4 more, and that's the boundary ball we were talking about. Wasn't even that bad a delivery, but Neesham latched onto it very quickly.
If you're into your Tina Turner, get your tickets now. West End Stars singing the hits of Tina Turner right here at the county ground.
As Neesham again looks for that similar gap. Waller's going to scramble round. Another misfield from Waller. I mean, almost speechless. That's 3 in a game. Unheard of. Van der Merwe, you can see the frustration. They scramble through for another couple. Max Waller just twice in the over, not quite picking it up cleanly. Very unusual for him. Commentator's curse, we talked about his fielding. I mean, it would be a one-off, I'm sure. Neesham swipes towards the leg side. He's going to get another boundary. I think that is 2 for. I know you were saying Van der Merwe likes to pitch it up, but that was a full bunger. Neesham latched onto it, dissected Marchand de Lange and Tom Abel, and that's 4 more for Essex.
Yeah, that's bad bowling there from Van der Merwe. 2 full. That Yorker length, or just short of a Yorker length, is what he goes on, and then you get it wrong. I'm afraid it's easy runs for someone like Neesham, was it, who pushed it towards the boundary there for 4. He's approaching his 50 now. There we go, Tina, an evening of Tina. We just mentioned it. If you fancy getting your tickets, go to aneveningoftina.com. Incredible music of Tina Turner, performed by West End Stars here at the county ground.
It's going to be wonderful. The old car journey cassettes in the car when I was a youngster. Tina Turner was always
you're a big
on.
Tina Turner fan, are you, Sam?
Yeah, my mum very much.
Oh, your mum, okay, yeah,
well,
yeah.
Hey, I'm proud to admit it. We were watching it on Saturday night. There was a concert on the TV. It was brilliant.
De Lange over the wicket. This one, it's pulled high. Is it going to be out? Max Waller around. Oh, he's left it there. He couldn't get to it. And Davey. I think the umpires will. Well, they asked the question. Was that? I think it was safe. Just inside the boundary. Slid round. Just about stood up inside. It was close. We'll have a look on the replay here. Waller trying to make up, I think, for things gone before. Racing round. Let's have a look at the die. Didn't quite get there. And then Davey. Oh, he slid, but I think he was all right. So saving the boundary. De Lange in again to Harmer on 15. Oh, this one is defended. They'll push and run for a single here. It brings Neesham on strike on 48. Wow, Essex needing just 15 now. They've got 2 overs and 4 balls to do it. I mean, this would be a real failure if Essex didn't get there. It's Essex's to lose at this point.
Very much so. And Jimmy Neesham has quite quietly batted beautifully. You say 48, just 22 balls.
Let's see how Delanger responds. I mean, a wicket here could be interesting. Harmer looking pretty good, though, at the other end, but Neesham, the danger man. Delanger just looking around the field. And in comes Delanger over the wicket, and this one is in the air and over the head of Josh Davey. Oh, I didn't feel like he saw it. It goes for 4. You just think Davey backpedaling there. Just wonder whether he picked it up all right.
It kept him interested, didn't it?
Yeah.
If you look at the angle, it is right up into those lights, but he was just backpedaling as if to go for the catch, and I think it just, in fairness to him, it was way out of reach in the end, but it kept him interested. But Jimmy Neesham goes to 50. Not a bad way to mark your Essex debut.
Yeah, absolutely. Great effort there. We'll be announcing the next winner, 250 quid worth of Thatchers. In comes Delanger, and this one is a short ball pulled, and that will go to Van der Merwe, who's on the boundary. They'll think about 2, but in the end just run the 1. 176 for 5. 10 to win. Essex on the verge of getting their T20 campaign underway with a win, unless Somerset can pull something out of the bag here. They're just 9 behind, 10 to win, and they've got plenty of time to do it. Over 2 overs. Delanger into Harmer. Oh, he's just played this one straight up. It's a tough one. It's going to be in the lights, and it's just about taken. It is taken by Eddie Byram. I'm not sure that was cleanly taken, but taken it was. And there is a wicket. Is there time? Is there time for something to happen? I don't know what sign Neesham's making. Sort of waving his bat behind his head there as he was looking up at the bottom. I'm not sure what. More bats? I don't know. But a wicket nonetheless. Eddie Byram did he take it cleanly?
Yeah, I think
he might have done.
He
did him a disservice maybe.
He did really well. That's not what you want. You want the instinctive catches are fine, but those ones that go way up, and that did go a long way up. It seemed to hang for about 5 seconds there, and as a fielder, you're underneath that. I mean, can you speak from experience, Charlie Taylor?
Only from playing here last year. Those high balls which I caught. 4 out of 6. Jason Kerr, in case you're listening, I'm here. I've got the kit. I can be called up at any point. Byram there doing a pretty good job under lights. It's tricky. It is tricky. Good effort. It was an attempted uppercut from Harmer, and instead of directing it over the boundaries, directed it straight. I don't think I've ever seen an uppercut go straight up like that. It's an unusual shot.
It went up. It definitely went.
The up bit of the cut was fine.
And it was a really, what a superb partnership that was from that pair. 67 off just 27 balls. Jimmy Neesham 49 off 17, and that's the game decider, hasn't it? It was very much in the balance when they came in together. Somerset probably thought they were on top, but you pay your money to bring your overseas players over, and he has certainly delivered tonight.
Yeah, it could well be the match-winning performance. Well, Neesham is on strike. Last ball of Delanger's over. And this one bowled him! Oh, middle stump out of the ground! This could be interesting now. Still 2 overs left, but that is a ball and a half from Delanger. Neesham goes, look at it, ripped out that stump there. Oh, it's great to see. Delanger has been fantastic to watch today.
It's about 3 yards back, that middle stump. No finer sight for a quick bowler. And this game, we talked about T20 getting turned quickly. This game has potentially turned on his head. Still in Essex's favour, but momentum now with Somerset, and Delanger will have his tail up.
Is Delanger on a hat-trick then? Next ball, was that 2 in 2?
Oh, I believe so.
I think it was, wasn't it? There wasn't any ball in between that. So 2 in 2 for Delanger, who does still have an over left, doesn't he, Delanger? I think, is that right? So, or is that his fourth? That was his final. All right, so he's on a hat trick for the next ball. Next ball of his innings in the next game will be a hat trick ball. Wow, 176 for 7. 2 batsmen who haven't faced a ball at the crease. 10 to win from 2 overs. Now, really, the modern state of the game, numbers 8 and 9 should be able to bat 10 runs in 2 overs, but T20 does funny things to players, in particular their mentality. It's going to be Josh Davey who bowls the penultimate over.
It's about keeping a cool head, isn't it, here from these two?
And there we go, the winner of Thatchers. Looks like it's going to be appreciated, given that half of the drinks there on the table is Thatchers. 250 quid of Thatchers on the way to you there, courtesy of Trade Nation. Hashtag stream in style. Nice work, guys. Well done. And we'll do this through all the home games this year, so don't
we'll never run
don't worry.
Here. Not like up at Lords a few years ago. We're just moving the field around. Yeah, I was just saying, these two, it's about just keeping a cool head. All they need to do is get bat on ball, and if they bat properly for a couple of overs, they will see this game home quite comfortably. But as you said, T20 does funny things, and here's Josh Davey. Stroked away, and we talked about just getting bat on ball. Aaron Nijar is like smashed that through the covers. James Hildreth is in at short extra cover, but it's gone to his left, and they picked up a boundary. Essex required just 6 to win. Definitely a cool head there from Aaron Nijar.
That's a shame for Josh Davey. Let's have a look on the replay. It's asking really to be hit. I think it's a nice width, it's a nice length. Bit of a shame, because the thing is, if this had been 1 over to go with 10 runs, would have been a great finish. Would have been one of those really nervy finishes. As it is, there's just enough time for Essex to get, if they need to take the dot ball.
Nijar facing his second ball. Better from Josh Davey. Almost looked like he was trying to guide it down to third man, but a little bit of extra pace beat the bat. Through to Tom Banton, so 6 required off 10 now. It's going to take something special from Somerset, but stranger things have happened.
Certainly, yeah. Essex, of course, winners of this 2 years ago, so certainly know how to do it. They've got a lot of those players in tonight who won in 2019. Yeah, 18 was Worcestershire, wasn't it? 19 was Essex, so they know what they're doing in a T20 games.
As Davey bowls short, and it's pulled away. Didn't get hold of it, but it's gone down to a long on. Max Wallace does the fielding. Lewis Gregory at short mid-wicket is just rolling around there acrobatically. It was just to his right. He didn't get hold of it, as we said, but single, 5 required, 9 balls remaining. Aaron Nijar, who played on that finals day, so he's no stranger to a bit of tension. Bowled really well in the semi-final. He's moved on to 5. Jack Plum now, the 2 batters just having a word with each other. Just a bit of encouragement. Takes his guard and has a look around.
Yeah, just 5 runs needed. They're 1 shot away from going back very happy. Long trip back east to Essex.
It is a long trip, and yeah, Josh Davies coming around the wicket, and we've got more men in the circle than is needed because of the low amount of runs needed. Davey beats the outside edge. It's gone through to the keeper. Jack Plum's had a swipe at that. A bit of encouragement from the crowd as well, still getting behind Somerset. They know the game is against them, but it's not impossible.
Such a shame that first ball going for 4, because since then, .1. I mean, it's been really good from Josh Davey. That first ball just meaning Essex always having the upper hand, no matter how this over finishes. Even if it's another couple of dots, Essex still in a very good position with just 5 to go.
Short, pulled by Jack Plum. I mean, you're going to finish it with a maximum. That's huge. Another 50 quid, a pump of the fists. Davey Diggs one's in, and Essex have got the season underway with a victory. They've beaten Somerset by 3 wickets, and hats off to them. They've batted very well there.
Yeah, Essex, very good value for that. They're a quality side with some real quality team players in there, especially Neesham, looking really good in the middle order. Just took the game away from Somerset very quickly. That was one place where the game was lost. I think you have to say that from 57 for no loss after 3 overs, Somerset really did close up for a bit after that point. They had that chance to build a massive platform, didn't go on and make it. Now 185 is a par, just over par score actually from where they were in that power play. Could have been much higher. Should have been looking at 210, 220 probably from there. So Somerset will reflect on that, I think. But Essex, very good for their win. Wouldn't say Somerset were terrible. You know, it certainly wasn't a thrashing here, but Essex go back with the points on the board.
No, they did well. And as you said, they had that great start, but then they lost 3 wickets in 4 balls, and it's very difficult. They did well to actually make a game of it. You don't lose 3 wickets in 4 balls very often and are in the game, but both sides played some good cricket, slightly sloppier than we're used to from Somerset in the field, but actually in the end it was, I don't think that made much of a difference, but Essex just played the better cricket on the night, and hats off to them.
Yeah, had they come down to 1 or 2 runs here or there, actually it didn't. They still had 7 balls to go, and they were already on 187. So actually, probably I reckon a par score here was probably 205, something like that, and Somerset finishing below that tonight. Great game of T20 cricket. Lovely to be back. Lovely to see a crowd in. They'll be a bit disappointed that it wasn't a Somerset win, but up and running for the season here. And let's quickly reflect on the bowling. We talked about the batting in the halfway stage. The bowling here, Max Waller a disappointment, but otherwise there's some positives to take.
Yeah, Jack Brooks bowled very well on debut. Rudolf van der Merwe as well. That last over was a little bit costly, but ended up going for 35. And Marchand Delanga, picked up 3 wickets. And yes, he went for 35 runs, but actually, as the strike bowler, he's done his job there. He's picked up the 3 wickets. He's not the one who's looking to bowl really tightly and economically.
Yeah, it's been a really good game. Really nice to see T20 cricket back under the lights. And actually, we were wondering how much the lights would take effect. By 9:15, actually, they are pretty much It is a cloudy day, but the lights still come into effect even here in midsummer. We can see on our screens the Essex players, Somerset players, Delanger having a chat there. It's hard to tell with Delanger. He's such a big bloke. Is it
Ryan Tendershart, I think? Yeah, it's like the shadow. He just steps in front of the sun and there's no shadow.
Yeah, so they're having a chat and speaking about things. Both take their cricket abroad. Some brought in from abroad there, and a really good game. The two players will split up now, go into the separate changing rooms. Essex in the Andy Caddick Pavilion and Somerset in the Colin Atkinson. So improvements then. We're back on Friday in a couple of days' time. So Somerset haven't got that long to change things. What do you think they can do? How would you like to see things change ahead of the next game?
I think that's the beauty, 2 days, they don't have time to stew on it particularly. They can get back out there and just do what they do best. As we said, they weren't particularly bad tonight. There are a few little technical things they can work on. They start losing that cluster of wickets. Ben Green did really well with the bat, so he'll probably keep his place, as Jack Brooks bowled really well. So yeah, they just needed a few more runs in no major areas, but they'll have a chance in 2 days' time. Another big game. Surrey coming down from London. They've got a brilliant side. It'll be interesting to see which of their white ball stars play. We might see Jason Roy and Sam and Tom Curran potentially. So that another cracker in store.
Yeah, very, very good T20 side. Surrey always seem to underperform. Really, they were at finals day. In fact, they won it, didn't they? At a finals day, am I right in saying last year they
lost the final?
They lost the final,
but they had an amazing run. They
Not
won about 11 games on the spin or something like that.
Yeah, I remember Pete Trigo getting his medal. No, that's right. So I remember seeing Surrey beat Gloucestershire in the semi there. So Surrey a good side. We'll see probably Jamie Overton return here as well, which will be interesting, especially if Craig Overton is not involved with England. Who knows? He might be back down. I suspect he'll be in the bubble, even if he's not playing for England. So one to look forward to on Friday. So we'll rejoin you then for that. So I hope you enjoy watching these highlights. We're watching now on this screen as Somerset didn't quite manage to beat Essex Eagles tonight. So Essex will go back happy, and it's Surrey on Friday to look forward to, and we'll look forward to your company then. And thank you to Trade Nation as well. Lots of money being given to charity, loads of sixes. There were, I think, a couple that went, how many was it, 3 out of the ground in total?
Yeah,
Sam,
so 3 out of the ground.
Huge one that went the other side of the river, a couple that went into car parks and places like that. So we've been treated to some really great cricket, some great bowling. Really enjoyed watching Delanger for the first time. Proper fast bowlers, wickets, ripping out middle stump, a bit of pace and bounce as well. So there's been a lot to enjoy, and we'll see and be back with you very soon here on the stream. So do join us if you can. Sam Dowling, who's alongside me, thank you, and we'll see you again very soon.